Welcome to our week all about social media. I'm super excited as usual to talk about this. I think it's going to be such a fun day today. You might notice I'm in a different location. I am in Montana. I'm hanging out with my sister and her husband and my little niece Lake. Here's her baby. Oh, that she just put a diaper on. She puts diapers on everything. Anyway, she's on her second day of school and we had her second birthday. So that's what's been going on in my world. That's why I'm in a different location again this week. But I want to jump into talking about social media, checking in a little bit about, okay, where are we at this point in the program? And I have cool announcements. But the first thing I need to know, Nicole Causey, I don't know if you're on right now, but I'm confused about your scoring. So as soon as you get here, Nicole, I need to make sure that you can tell me what your actual point scoring is because I really want to announce the winners. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll announce the winners anyway, and then Nicole may or may not, we'll see what happens. But first, and I have another cool announcement in addition to that. But what I wanted to check in with all of you about first, I'm just waiting for some more people to get on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give you an update about where we are, then we'll go into announcements and all that jazz. So here's the deal. Oh, Nicole just commented. Let's see what she said. She's evacuating due to Irma. So Nicole, go ahead and put down your, I'm going to talk to her really quick. Please tally your points, lady. Okay, so sorry about this. Yeah, Nicole is evacuating for the hurricane. So I'm going to see if she can tally her points. And I'm going to write, and be safe. Okay. So let's just chat really quick. Sorry, it's a little bit, we're a little bit scattered here. I'm a little bit scattered here. Wanted to make sure we have all the points tallied up. So here's the plan, y'all. Right now, we're going to talk about social media today. That's what our game plan is for the day. So you should be able to see my screen. Go ahead and let me know if you can see the module right now. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about social media today. And where we are right now, I know we really want you to be clear on what the main priorities are. So we've gone over a lot of the mindset pieces, and that's going to keep coming up. Then messaging, right? And that's that ever-evolving thing. We know who you're targeting now. We know how to establish what your irresistible offer is. Then the booking discovery calls and clients, which is something we've had a lot of fun doing challenges with. And then lead magnets. You've taken a stab at creating that really good content. Maybe you have even a couple of lead magnets now. You know how to design a follow-up sequence. And then we had Julie Lowe come in and talk about, Facebook ads. If you're going to be using Facebook ads and paid ads, she really did a lot of great teaching last week, which you can watch that recording as many times as you want. So that's really where we are. You have all these solid foundational pieces in place. And now you can take what you've learned and start to really step into the spotlight. That's what I want you to do. I want you to really focus on that great content, being generous, mingling, all those pieces. So we're going to talk about this today. And the purpose of bringing in social media now is to tell you what I know about social media and to have you just really, what I suggest and what we're going to talk about in this module is focusing really, I almost think it's smartest to focus on just one social media platform, maybe two at most. But I talk with a lot of my clients who are like, okay, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Google+, I'm on Pinterest, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. And there's nothing wrong with being on multiple platforms, but I really suggest that you master one, at most two. And I do like for you to start thinking about two platforms so that you can diversify and you're not just having all your eggs in one basket. Because again, you have to operate by that platform's rules, and you don't want to put yourself in a situation where if something changes, you're shit out of luck, right? So we're going to talk in more detail about this. I'm going to let you know right from the beginning. My forte is Facebook groups, my own Facebook group. This is the platform that I have really, really learned to master. That's where a lot of the focus is going to be today. But we will be talking about a couple others because I feel that in this industry, with my target market right now, what I think is super, super hot is Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. Those are really the three places that I think have a lot of potential. But it really depends on who your target market is. So we're going to get deeper in, and then I have a very, very cool announcement that I'm going to make right away about this, and here's what it is. I wanted to bring in an amazing guest expert about, organically growing your list. Who here knows who Jada Selner is? Jada is, she started the Simple Green Smoothies. That's Jada Selner. And she's just a really, really big deal, amazing person. And luckily, I've been connected to some of these people. And so she is coming into my high-level mastermind, and Jada's going to be doing a presentation and hot seating all of my mastermind ladies about her different ways of being able to build her community on social media. And in fact, Jada has been able to go from 0 to 355,000 people on her list without using paid advertising, which I think is absolutely remarkable. So I had a conversation with her just 2 days ago, and here's the deal that I worked out. I had a deal with her where she's going to come in again and do these hot seat coaching for my mastermind members. I asked her if it would be okay with her if all of you could go ahead and come to that call and listen to her whole presentation and get to be a fly on the wall during all the hot seats where she's coaching my top mastermind clients through organic list building. So I thought that would be really exciting and really cool. Jada has more experience with Instagram than I do as well. So the presentation isn't necessarily about Instagram, but it is about organically using social media. And if there's time for the hot seats, you all will be able to submit a few questions. And if you can submit a few questions ahead of time, that would be fantastic too. We're going to be sending out reminders about this call. It's going to be Thursday, September 21st. I'm just looking, well, I'll look on my calendar in a second, but it will be Thursday, September 21st, and you will get an invite about that as well. So that's what's coming up. Hold on one second. So I'm hoping that that's a really exciting thing. So just knowing that this is not everything that's going to be shared. Yeah, I'm so glad you're excited. I love to do things like this. I love to, and this is something like if you ever do a group program as well, if you feel like there are some really great opportunities to give more than you promised or to bring in, someone who's a really amazing guest expert and have them do some really cool teachings, then why not? It's awesome, right? So we're going to go over social media today. It is going to be very much based about Facebook. We will talk a little about Instagram and Pinterest and even a couple other platforms. But I'm just being really transparent with you that I have not mastered Instagram and Pinterest to that level. And, I'm constantly putting my feelers out and seeing if there's people who want to come in and talk about that. But we'll talk about it a bit. And I thought Jada would be a perfect person to come in, to go from 0 to 355,000 followers for free. It's unheard of. So anyway, she's got a pretty set presentation, but again, what I'm going to do in the Facebook group is go ahead, and I'll just do it right now so we can all see in here. Please submit any questions for Jada about organically building your list and online following. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and post this, and I'm also going to pin this post just so it's up here, and then all of you can, write and have things prepared. Now, we will be focusing on the mastermind ladies, but whatever extra time we have, we're going to go ahead and be going through this as well. So, cool. You're very welcome, all of you. I'm super excited about that, and I just wanted to let you know. So, I'm just checking really, really quick to see, let's see if Nicole was able. I know Nicole's really busy. So here, let's go ahead and announce the winners then. So we'll do this in a way that Nicole will either tie for second or not. But yes, wanted to announce we finished this discovery call challenge. The challenge about booking discovery calls, 1 per discovery call and 2 for every client that you book. So much fun. And again, I want you to use these challenges to really just help yourself, help inspire and motivate yourself. That's totally the point of all the challenges. So if you go over here, you should be able to see my screen. I'm clicking on the Files tab. So I had Amanda go ahead and write up all the details about the challenge, so how the scoring goes and the prizes. So I went through and I took a look at everybody, and I'm really excited to announce that Maya Ann, my love, you got second place, and perhaps Nicole tied with you. I'm not sure. If Nicole got 12 points as well, then both of you, I'm going to go ahead and give you second prize, which is you're going to get featured to my Facebook group where you can share a lead magnet that I approve of, and then we're going to pin it there for 24 hours. So I'm really, really excited. And so we'll work out details about that. But Maya Ann, and then when Nicole confirms, she'll either also get the chance to this as well. You can write to customer support at melissafarr.com, talk to Amanda, and they'll tell you details of when this is going to happen in the next few months. All right. And then Leanne, you badass. Leanne, you got first place. You got 13 points, booked 4 clients, 7 discovery calls. I think that's how the math works out. So I'm really, really excited for you as well. And then I just wanted to talk to all of you super quick before we dive into this module. I want to start another challenge that is really motivating for all of us and gets you excited. The ideas that I was seeing were like challenges around creating content events and things like that. So we're not going to go too deep into it today because this module we're going to be discussing is pretty in-depth, but I would love for you to let me know what do you want our next challenge, to be about. All right, so I just posted that, and I would be really, really happy if you can go ahead and comment in this box here that I just posted in the group. So yeah, I'm thinking content might be a really cool thing because that serves the purpose of both building and nurturing, which you know at this point is such an important piece of the puzzle. Cool? So feel free to share all your ideas about that. Okay, so we announced Jada Selner, we announced the winners, talked about the content. Let us go ahead and talk about social media. Y'all ready? Give me a yes if you're here with me. All right. So where I want to start with this is that, first of all, let's just keep it real. It's true. I feel like social media can be really overwhelming for people. And one thing I want to reiterate as we go through this module is that I very, very much recommend that you go ahead and you start focusing in on one platform, 2 at most at a time. Because we've all had those days where we go online and we feel like the time is passing and we've fallen into the black hole and nothing's happening. We don't have new potential clients following us. We haven't built our list. We're not really nurturing. That can happen. And so what I want to share with you are just what are the ways that I've used social media to build my business and help a lot of my other clients build. And then what are the ways to be most efficient so that the time you're spending online is actually going to help you get clients and grow your business, okay? Let's see. It's really true that Facebook has been really one of my main platforms, but there's so many ways for you to be truly creating 5 figures a month as a coach. It has never been easier for you to use social media and get in touch with so many people for free, and there's live streaming now. So I don't want you to think that you have to be some social media maven. You really don't. I just want you to focus in and do less better when it comes to this. So, I'm again just going to share with you what's been working best for me. But what I want to review, and if you happen to see my live stream yesterday, you may have already heard these things, and I've talked to you about this before, but it's really important to remind you about these 3 ways of approaching the online world. First of all, I don't care what platform you're on, but what I want to focus on is, number 1, you really, really do need to treat the online world as like a social community and not like a spam community or a selling community. So when you're going online, you really got to think about pretending that like you're walking into a party and you really want to start compelling conversations. You really want to engage people. And the fact is that no matter how social media changes, this is a timeless thing about business. It really is based on building relationships. There's no way around it. This is just true. So I want you to feel like your goal in mingling is getting to know people and starting really compelling conversations. And obviously you want these conversations to be around, you know, the things that you really specialize in that your clients really want and desire help with, right? But if you're going into groups or places online where your ideal clients live, that's not really going to be that hard to do. You know, so for example, if Melinda wants to start a conversation about messaging that's really interesting and she's among her ideal clients, it's really easy for her to start compelling conversations there that both align with what her expertise is and what her people are really needing. But I really feel like make it your first priority to go in and see how much engagement you can get. And our first challenge is what really focused in on this. You being generous, mingling, and all those things about doing your research. So it's just recapping those things that our first challenge was about. And I also feel like there's just this fear that continues to come up about, okay, well, what if I give away too much, or what if I run out of things to talk about? We're going to talk about how to repurpose your content. If you have any questions about that, definitely ask. But really keep in mind, as any other friendship, you want to make sure that you're giving and you're not asking for things more than you're giving. If you meet someone new and you're asking them to do all kinds of favors for you and say yes to all these things that feel like a big commitment right off the bat, you're not going to have that friend for very long. And it's no different when it comes to a following. So I want you really getting good at thinking about all the things that you do and breaking them down into little bite-sized pieces of content that is really, really helpful for your client, and being willing to share on videos, share in posts, all kinds of different ways, all right? So be generous. And lastly, we've talked about this before, keep studying and doing research. You know, like let's say that you are deciding you want to become an absolute master on Pinterest. Well, you know, do research, look at all the people whose pins are getting the most saves, you know, and getting the most traction. You know, look on Facebook and see whose comments or whose groups or whose videos are getting the most comments. Look on, you know, Instagram and see who there is getting the most comments and tractions and followers. What are they doing? What's the link they're sharing in their bio? You know, what are their posts looking like and sounding like? Keep doing your research and studying. I really keep this priority of, I'm very focused on what my goals are. I'm kind of like a horse with blinders. I don't look out a lot of the time to compare myself because that's a waste of my energy. But I would say like every 2 to 3 months, I will look around at my peers and say, okay, well, what is so-and-so doing? What's working for this person? Just to be curious and see if there's anything that they're doing that I can add, you know? And you can keep coming up with your own formulas. You know, when people are online and they're doing cool stuff, are there numbers? Is there a pain point, a pleasure point? Is there a picture that's great? Is there a compelling story? Is it short? Is it long? Ask this stuff and be really curious about social media, because I'll tell you one thing, it is constantly changing. And so for you just to focus on doing less better and keep up on what's going on and notice what's working, that's one of the simplest and most effective things that you can do. I will say this, I am a huge fan. I know a lot of people have been like shutting down Facebook groups. That was kind of like this big thing that's going on. I am absolutely 500% pro group. And I'll tell you why. Because what it does to go ahead and facilitate the growing of your own group, as soon as someone comes into a group, you are automatically positioned as an expert. You're like an authority in there. You can grow the group as big as you want. It's completely free. You have control of your news feed, of anyone else promoting or not. And you can do video in there, and then you can pin that as a post. You can promote as often as you want. You can share live calls whenever you want. I think it's just about really getting great at creating engagement in there. So, you know, if things continue to shift or you feel like you can't promote in other groups, I think having your own is such a smart thing to do. So I'm definitely not on the train of this shutting down group type of thing. I really, really recommend having your own and, you know, facilitating growing a really, really amazing culture in that group, because you just have so much control over what happens in there, and you have so much control over growing your brand. And it's free. It's totally free. So don't forget how big of a deal that is. So just saying. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go through what's going on here in the social media world in terms of Facebook. So I've just written in here, it might be interesting to know that up until July of 2015, Facebook was the only platform I used. And in July of 2015, the second platform I started using was Periscope, which now it's like I don't even use Periscope anymore. I'm not even sure if it's still alive because I haven't been paying attention to it. But that was really the only tool that I used. And my ad account was disabled, so I wasn't spending money on paid ads at all. And I was able to generate like 10K a month. And when my ad account got disabled, what I did was I went into growing my Facebook group and building a huge community there. And that is truly one of the things that's helped me get almost all of my clients. So if we think about Facebook, just starting on your Facebook business page, what you're going to notice in this module is that there's three really important things. And these three things that are important kind of fall in line with the 5 money-making tasks. So it's building your community, nurturing your community, and then making offers. That's a huge part of where you want to spend your time, right? All 5 of these prime pieces are the 5 filters I talk about: mindset, building your community, nurturing your community, making offers, and perfecting your sales process. Those are those 5 money-making areas we always want to focus on. So notice that when it comes to social media, I'm wanting you to really choose only 1, maybe 2 platforms to master, and then go ahead and focus on how you're going to build your community, how you're going to nurture that community, and then how you're going to make offers when you're going to make offers, okay? So that's the way that I'm structuring this and thinking about this. So when it comes to your Facebook page, the thing I will say is that I think it's great to have a Facebook page. You actually have to have a Facebook page now to go ahead and run paid ads, which I do recommend doing at some point soon if you haven't already started. So you really have to have a Facebook business page. I like to think of it as my business card. Now, there are some people who have had fantastic engagement on their page. And I've had clients, probably much fewer, who have had their Facebook page generate a lot of sales, but I know Leanne has. I had another client named Celeste who did. You know, I think that's definitely the minority, that people get a lot of their clients from their Facebook page directly. But this is a really great tool to get more likes, get more followers, and go ahead and share things so that when people are checking you out, they can go ahead and check your Facebook business page and kind of see your online business card. Plus, if you ever are interested in being a speaker or PR or media, a lot of times people are checking your Facebook stats. You know, if somebody reaches out about or you reach out and you want to interview someone, they might ask, okay, well, how many followers do you have on your different social media platforms? So it's a way of gaining credibility and positioning yourself as an expert. But there are some other things that you can do and use it for strategies. So for strategies here for listing community building, you know, it still is totally cool to go ahead and go the PM, the private message route. When it feels really, really genuine. I feel like more and more people get really irritated when you send messages that feel salesy and things like that. But if you see somebody who's hanging out a lot on your business page or watching a lot of your lives that you do from your business page, you know, there's nothing wrong with going ahead and sending a private message and saying something really chill about, hey, do you want to come on over to my group? I've loved having you on my videos, in a really non-salesy way. So that's one thing you could do. There's also a sign-up link. So if we go over here, it's going to show you this. Everyone can see my page, right? Oops. You can see it? Talk to me. You should be able to see this. Say yes if you can. Okay, great. Great. Melinda, you're on. I'm so excited. Okay, so cool. So this is like a learn more button, right? So there's just places on your business page where you can go ahead and you can put a URL in this link so that when people come here, they can go ahead and sign up for stuff. So that's really, really important to go ahead and type this on. The other thing that you can do is you can invite, you know, people from your page onto your Facebook group from time to time as well. So that's something that's pretty cool to do as well. So I think if you're really using your Facebook page to funnel people into your Facebook group, I think that's one of the smartest strategies that you can do. And then this is the big one that's pretty cool now, is that you can actually start scheduling Facebook Lives. So if you come over here, you can click on videos. I'm scrolling down, and you can go ahead and like add a video. So we can add, oh, that's not right. Lies and deceit. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. As you can tell, I haven't scheduled one in a while, but I thought that was how you did it. But you can go ahead and schedule a video on this page a lot of the time. And what happens is that different people get insight, or so what the time and the place that you're going to be doing this video. So they'll get a notification if they follow you. So then when you start that video, a lot of people get notified, and that's a really, really great way to start getting more traction on your Facebook page. Then when you're doing your Facebook video, you might go ahead and say, hey, come on over and join my Facebook page. And that's actually a strategy I'm going to tell you about that I'm really, really excited. So I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. Yes, invite Facebook page to any free content that you're hosting. So you could do a little bit of content on your Facebook page and then say, hey, I've got this webinar or this teleclass coming up. And it's also great, you can make like a Facebook event, you know, for any event that you're doing, like a free content event, and people go ahead and share that as well, which is really great. So I want to show you something that I do. This is one of my most fun strategies that's really been working. What I will do is I'll schedule a Facebook Live, and I'm just going to show you some of these stats. Let's see, where is one of my most recent videos? Okay, here we go. So this is the title of a Facebook Live that ended up going crazy in my Facebook group. It got over 2,000 views. What I did is I did this video first on my Facebook page. I scheduled it so people knew it was coming up. And it's not a very long video. You can see it's 3 minutes and 35 seconds, or about 3.5 minutes. And what I did here was I just shared like the first part of the content that I was going to share in my Facebook group. My Facebook group, I did like a full 45-minute video, which you don't have to make videos that long. But I just shared 3.5 minutes. I shared one really interesting thing, and I said, if you want to learn more, then you can go ahead and you can join me in my Facebook group. And so you'll even see I put the link under here, and this ended up getting quite a few comments. The other thing is you're going to notice it reached quite a few thousand people. Now I have 10,000 people who have liked my page. What you'll notice is a lot of times in your Facebook business page, when you do a post, it's not getting shown to every single person who likes your page at all. Facebook has like their algorithm, logarithm type stuff that really shares your posts only to a fraction of the people who have liked or followed your page, because the more engagement you get on a post, the more people they're going to show it to, right? If they think the content is good, they're going to give it to more people because they want to make their user base happy. Video on your Facebook page is one of the best things that you can do. So my new strategy is this. I go onto my Facebook page, I schedule a live, then I do the live and I do just a snippet of what I'm going to share in my Facebook group. Then I go ahead and I tell them what time it's going to be, and I do it the same day. So I would do this video the same day that I would do a video in my Facebook group, okay? And I tell them the time that it's going to happen. I give them the link to go to my Facebook group. This worked amazingly. I think we grew the group by like a few hundred people that day just because so many people had seen the video and decided to come on over. We noticed a huge spike in the group growth. I think the group has grown by like 700 people in the last few days, actually. And some of that is because we're running ads, and more people. We put like a join my Facebook group on the thank you page of our ads, so that after they sign up for an opt-in, it says, hey, come join Mel's group. So that's something we do as well. But a huge spike when we did this thing, and what you can see is that it had quite a few views, and then it had people that were engaging. And so during this video, I asked some simple questions. I asked people to go ahead and share comments. I asked them to say yes, really, really just short ways to answer me so that I could get them talking with me. But that was something that was really, really helpful that I'm now doing every single Monday. So every single Monday except this Monday, because I was traveling, it was a holiday. I'd go on in the morning, do this, and let them know in the afternoon, 4, 5, or 6 p.m., I'm going to be in my Facebook group at that time. So I thought it's been really, really helpful. Maya Ann, will Facebook post ever be shown to people who haven't already liked it? I don't believe so, Maya Ann. I think a lot of times people have to like it to go ahead to see your posts, see your videos, and things like that. That's what I believe. If anyone knows differently, go ahead and add in. Ramonica, Mel, when I started, I was advised to live stream to my personal page. I have a business page. I just get more engagement on the personal. I usually offer them a spot to join me in my group. Do you suggest inviting people over to my business page and stop live streaming on the personal page? It's up to you. I really feel that I like to keep business and personal very separate for me, so I never live stream on my personal page. That's my preference. It might be that that's where you get more engagement now, but I think that it would really, really help to build your credibility on your business page. And the more that you live stream from there, you know, the more engagement you're going to start getting on that page. So you might, you know, start doing more on your business page, and you might be inviting people from your personal page to your business page and to your group until you boost up engagement in that spot. I think it's good for professionalism to keep those separate, but again, it's really up to you. You know, but this is all about your business, not your personal life. So that's why I'm really big on shifting my focus to that place. I hope that helps. Okay. My page doesn't have huge number, but my reach usually well exceeds my page likes, so my content is definitely showing up in news feeds other than my likes. Great. Cool. So Melinda, if you're getting great engagement and it's like continuing to expand things, then I would keep that going for sure. Cool. All right. Do you recommend live streaming on BizPage and sharing into a group? That's a great question. When I do my live streaming on my business page, it could be very cool to go ahead and share into the group. You know, and there is liveleap.com. Liveleap.com, you can go check out. It's pretty cheap, but it allows you to go ahead and live stream on your business page and different groups all at the same time. It might even have ability to let you live stream onto Twitter and even in LinkedIn and things like that, which could be cool. I have Liveleap, but to be honest, I don't actually use it that much because in my group, I just like it to feel really personal. And the engagement I get on my videos is so fantastic that I think me being in there and my community feeling like I'm live streaming just to them is really powerful. So I like to be doing it that way the most. But you definitely can share videos. I used to share all my Periscopes in my group, and I still got a lot of comments that way too. So I wouldn't not recommend it, but I do think that if you're working on cultivating a great, strong culture in your group, to make sure that you live stream right into the group at times is great. But the good thing about using a live video from your Facebook page into your group is that videos on your Facebook page can create a custom audience. So you can go ahead and search everyone who's viewed a video on your Facebook page, and then you can retarget them with paid ads. You can't do that in your group yet, although Facebook is rolling out being able to do ads in groups right now as we speak. It may not have reached everyone. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can start targeting people from a group. But for now, if you put like a Facebook page video and share it in a group and your group members watch it, they become targetable, right? Okay, I've been posting videos and getting new people liking them that I've never met and aren't friends, so Facebook must be showing it to other people. Okay, cool. For streaming on your personal page, it may increase risk of losing access. Facebook can shut down accounts doing business on personal. Good to know, Carlina. Andi said, my friend got her account shut down for too much biz promo on personal page. Wow, this is good to know. I never do business promotion on personal page. And actually, this is true that my media guy has told me that if you are, you know, like it used to be, if you used to be running like your personal page and running ads from there, or just different things that were business on personal, they can turn your whole personal account into a business page. Now, Niraj told me that probably in 2016, and Facebook is always changing, but I'm not surprised at all that that's something that, you know, you've heard. Cool. Meg, you said live what? So let me know. Yeah. Yeah. And Vicky, you're saying you do biz promo on your personal page all the time. Yeah. Just things to be aware of. If you're not using all the different tactics that Facebook have, you may not be aware of every different piece. So that's, you know, stuff just is what it is. Okay. We're going to keep moving through because there's a lot to talk about today. So those are some of the things I wanted to let you know about your Facebook business page as it is right now. Use that sign up link. I would definitely schedule some Facebook Lives, and definitely use Facebook Live to bring people over to your group, but also you can use it to, you know, share a URL. So The other day on my Facebook Live, not only did I share, hey, here's the link to come join my group, I also would share a link and say, hey, I have a challenge coming up called Mindset School. Here's the link. Go ahead and join. So those are some different things that you can do. And then for community nurturing, you can read through this, but asking thought-provoking questions, giving your best tips each week via a post, a video, or audio, providing a lot of valuable advice. Remember, we want to be generous. You know, you can try any of these things you do in your group and just see if you get a lot of engagement on your page, keep it going. You know, historically, I've gotten much more interaction from a group than I have my page because I feel that groups are more about facilitating community because there's a bunch of people also sharing their stuff, whereas your Facebook page is just really you sharing your stuff. But you can share valuable content, articles. I had a client who ran a contest from her Facebook group where people had to go and comment on her Facebook page, from her Facebook page to get into the running for like being in a program and things like that. So you can go ahead and look through that more often. Now, it's not, you could also make offers, you know, perhaps you do a lot of Facebook Live, you get a lot of interaction, people really comment on your page a lot. This could be a place where you offer free sessions or assessments or discovery calls, you know, or where you're cycling powerful testimonials and then making an offer. So definitely try it out. If you're getting a lot of engagement, I think it's worth going in that direction, all right? Now, in other Facebook groups, the first thing that I'll say is that when it comes to other Facebook groups, I think that it is so very important for you to make sure that you are adhering to the rules that the Facebook group owner is setting in place. It's not cool to add people to your own Facebook group, ever. Don't ever do it. And if you didn't know that etiquette, that's okay. Just know now, it's not cool to add people to your Facebook group. It's one of the most annoying things you can ever do, and it makes people pissed. And also, when you go in, there's a group description. And usually in a group description, like I'll show you on mine, so if we look over here on the right side, description of the group, see more. This is where I always go to kind of know more. So this is like, hey, are you a good fit for this group, right? Please follow these guidelines. This is a spam-free zone. No selling to other members and no paid or free offers during the week except on Feature Friday, where you can promote your paid or free offer in the Feature Friday thread. Do engage with each other, share tips, ask powerful questions, no negativity or bashing, support sisterhood. And then even down in here, I have like, we'll go over this later, but I have like, hey, here's some cool resources that I have. But that's all in this group description. And when I first started my group, well, we'll talk about groups in the way anyway. So that's really cool too. But yes, you want to make sure that you are reading the rules that pertain to the group. There's nothing more important than that. And if you do violate the rules, then there's a very good chance you get kicked out. I know many people who get kicked out of groups because they're just not paying attention. Or it could be a group where the owner just feels really threatened by other people and just kind of kicks people out if they're even getting a lot of engagement. That stuff happens, which is one of the reasons I really like having your own group, okay? So that's a huge piece of this. Now, when it comes to groups for list and community building, these are some of the strategies that I've used in the past, but groups are changing. So it's true that sometimes you can't always promote even free stuff, and that's okay. You don't really necessarily need to. We'll talk more about that, but one of the things I've done is like anyone who's really been actively engaging, and this is only if I'm having a really great conversation with them. I'm not going and saying like what I used to do, and you can try this, but what I used to do is anyone who even commented or liked, I would do this exact message to them. I would say, hey, so-and-so, thanks so much for commenting and liking my, my post. I really appreciate it. Absolutely no pressure, but I have a Facebook group of women who are really focused on X, Y, Z. You know, if it feels like a great fit, please go ahead and, come on over and join my group. And I left the link. So it wasn't salesy or pushy at all. And because it was an invitation that was so chill and so full of gratitude and just really laid back, a lot of people came and joined my group. So I would kind of look through and just PM, private message, anybody who had liked or commented and just say that message that was really nice. see if that works for you. You know, you might have some people who are like, get away, I don't want to join your group, and get annoyed, but that worked really, really well for me. I do think that it's a really thin line. So I would say if you're going to PM anyone, make sure that you're feeling really comfortable about it. And that like you've really had a good connection, like you've generally been chatting with them in a group or something like that. So that's a huge piece. I think, again, this is where it's so good for building community, just to be doing those top two things, being generous and mingling. This is where this comes in other Facebook groups. And I shared this woman as an example yesterday. I'm going to see if I can find her in my group. Her name, actually, it's Lacey Sites now. Let's see if I can find her. SL. I know that she was just in here not too long ago. Oh, this might be her. No, that's not her. Search my group for someone named Lacey Sites. She is, I can't really see that. She is really, really good at this whole thing. Here we go. Here it is. We talk a lot about tracking metrics in business, but today I want to challenge you to track some good life metrics. She just says like interesting things, and like, you know, she has one comment down there at least, but I very seldom see her have, you know, any posts that don't have at least one comment, sometimes two. And so if you want to check her out, Lacey used to be a client of mine. She's super, super cool, but she's really good at just consistently sharing great content and starting compelling conversations. I wouldn't say this is like one of her best posts ever, but I still think it's interesting and it like stands out a little bit more than others. So this idea of just being really generous, starting compelling conversations. I've never seen her post offers in other groups, but she consistently gets clients from Facebook because she's starting compelling conversations. And she's also sharing really great step-by-step content. So she does the mingle and she does the be generous really, really well. And so a lot of the time, you know, people will go check her out and come on over and find her. So that's what I really want you to focus on. You can share your best offers when it's appropriate, or invite other people to live content events when appropriate. And I know like Pauline has said that she knows a few Facebook groups where she shares a lot about her free content sessions coming up and still gets people on there. Yep. Oh, that's from the Facebook business page. And then if you can invite people to your group, there's a perfect time. Like for instance, in my Facebook group, we have a Feature Friday thread where you can make some kind of offer. So I think a lot of times, I know for you too, Gail, you've been able to study like what groups allow what things and then go ahead and match that up. Other thing is that, you know, there are women who Facebook Live in my group all the time. And I don't have a problem with that at all. So again, you have to know what's up with the group owner. But, you know, doing some live video and sharing some simple tips in a Facebook group is also a really, really great way to do it, especially if you're doing it from your business account, so that if people see your business page and want to check you out more, they can look over. And in fact, yesterday when I was doing my webinar, this woman was telling me during the webinar that she was looking over my Facebook page while the video was up in the sidebar. So she was checking me out. And then she even signed up for like some live, you know, challenge that I have coming up as well. So, you know, if it's appropriate, you could invite people from post or from a Facebook Live, you know, to like your page or to come to a free content event. I just think it's really important in other groups to make sure you're monitoring the rules. For list and community nurturing, this is that part where you are just being crazy generous. Share great articles, introduce yourself, ask for feedback in groups, give your best tips, ask thought-provoking questions, provide valuable advice. You really want to be that person, all right? And then for making offers, the same thing applies. You want to make sure that it's really okay for you to make offers. There's a certain day, a certain thread, or a certain group that allows that. But if you're really spending a lot of your time being generous and mingling, then there may be more opportunities in groups for you to go ahead and do that now and then if you want. My big way about, you know, making offers, even though I have offered free sessions or assessments on social media and Facebook and gotten great numbers of assessments, what I like doing more than anything is getting as many people as possible to attend a live content event or to attend a Facebook Live in my own group. That is where I make all of my pitches. You will not see me on any social media platform making offers directly to a program unless I'm in launch mode. You'll never see me making them directly to one-on-one very often. Almost all of my offers for all of my programs and products usually come from a live stream or a free content event. And in fact, even when U2U cart is open, all of my pitches happening on social media usually are at the back end of me sharing really fantastic content in a video. You don't often see me sharing much of anything in a post because I want them to be in a situation where I've already been generous and then I make that offer. So that's one of the ways that I really, really suggest doing things, okay? Yeah, that's where I say right here. That works best when you're offered on the back of generous content that you've given. If you do a great Facebook Live that gives amazing content, and then at the end you make your pitch, right? That's what's super cool. All right, so let's talk about your own Facebook group. We're gonna just keep on moving through this. Again, these are all strategies I've used in the past, but the biggest one just being that I love creating fantastic content and then pinning it in my group. So let's check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and X this. So in my group, you'll see I pinned this post, right? So I did this video live, and then, you know, there's always a thing that says unpinned post because it's already pinned, but I pin it here. And this was just 23 hours ago but I did this piece of content, 3 secrets to approaching social media marketing to become a client magnet. When I pin this, I'll leave this pinned for the rest of the week. In fact, that's what I've been doing. I do that video on my Facebook page first to get as many people to come over into my group that day. And then I go ahead and I do the full enchilada of content in my group. Then I pin it as a post, and I have as many people as possible watch it. And I leave it up for a week because I just keep getting a ton of views and people can rewatch it. And then you'll notice what I did after that, and I said, plus, if you haven't signed up for Mindset School, check it out here. So I've even put that URL right on top. You'll see it's gotten quite a few comments, 894 views. We usually get around 1,000 within 24 hours, which is pretty cool. So this is just a really awesome way to go. And in the comments below too, I'll share different URLs as we go. Okay, so if you look through these and stuff, like here's Mindset School again, where I kind of went over that. So that's just the thing that has been working fantastically for me. And I'm giving away really, really great content. So that's the biggest thing I'm doing, and the big thing is I'm pinning that offer as a post. Now this offer is more just like a free video, but when my Facebook ad account got disabled, I would just say, hey, you know, I might type in here, thanks so much for being a part of the group, saying thank you for joining my community. I wanted to go ahead and give you my top 10 ways to book 20 or more discovery calls a month guide. Here it is, and then people could opt in straight from this pinned post. That worked amazingly for me. Put links to a handful of your lead magnets in the group description. So I showed you this as well. Here's that group description. And right down here at the end, I said, you know, here's my website. If you're a new coach looking to get more clients, please feel free to check out my 2 free reports, you know. And these were 2 things that I thought were really helpful. And there's people who still come in from that, actually. Some people used to make it a requirement that if you join their group, you join their list. I have never really preferred that, but you could do that if you want. I don't know if it's very easy to enforce. This is what I'm constantly doing. I'm inviting group members to any free live content that I'm going to be hosting. So all my webinars coming up, all those things, I'm constantly giving great free content and saying, hey, if you want more, come and, you know, join my webinar, my challenge that's coming up next week. Now, here's one of the big things I'm doing. And this is what is a big part of helping me get such great engagement in my group. And you notice too, it's like when you get great engagement during a video and you have like a lot of people watching, more people are going to want to come and watch. So what I do is I email my list Monday afternoon and say the subject line of my email is the title of the content I'm going to be sharing in my group. Okay? So if one of them was like, this is what, well, let's say this. This would be the topic of the email. 3 secrets to approaching organic social media marketing to become a client magnet. And then I would say like, hey, so-and-so, I do a Facebook Live in my group every Monday. Here's what I'm sharing today. It's going to be super juicy. Go ahead and come on over. And, you know, there's absolutely no pitch. I've been doing that a lot too, where I'll say absolutely no pitch. So I'm emailing my list, and then I'm going onto my Facebook business page and sharing that snippet and telling people from there to come on over to my group. It has been amazing for my deliverability. So a ton of people are coming over. I'm getting anywhere between 40 and 50 people watching for almost, you know, an hour. Lots of comments because I'm really engaging with them. And then it's building the list really quickly as well. And then we'll leave that post up. And since I'm getting instant feedback, I know if the content is, you know, going well or not. So if it goes really well, I'll pin that as a post, and that's a great way of nurturing my people for quite a few days before I go back in. Now, if your group is younger and it's brand new, I would do a video more than just once a week, but my brand has really built at this point, so for me to give great content once a week is really working for me. But emailing your list to let them know when you're going to go live, even on your business page or in your group, that's a great thing that you can do. And in fact, you could do that with Instagram as well. You could say, hey, come watch my Insta Live, or you could say, hey, I've got an Insta story up right now, you know, different things like that. And then here's something else that's so cool for building and nurturing your list. We've talked about this before. Find another entrepreneur to do a Facebook swap with you. It's good to make sure that they have the same target market. Actually, that's a must. There's no reason to do a Facebook swap with someone who doesn't have the same target market. But if they do, and their group size is around yours, or if it's not, if it's a bigger group than yours, but you feel like you have something really, really amazingly juicy to give to their audience that doesn't compete with what they do, see if, you know, you can come in and do like a training. You know, one of my clients, Binu, I had her come in and do tapping in my Facebook group, and people loved it. So it was a great way for her to get exposure and build her list, and a great way for me to serve my community. You know, if people know that you're bringing a great guest expert into your group who can add great value, they're going to stay engaged in your group. They're going to be like, oh, this is the group that always has these great guest expert training calls or stuff like that. And then you can return the favor and go in and do your teaching, and then share a lead magnet and get a ton of those people onto your list or into your group. So those are some of the things that have just worked so well for growing groups, which is really cool. For list and community nurturing, again, a lot of the same things, but I have clients who have done great with Q&A thread once a week to answer the burning questions of your followers, right? I've had people who had a great time. They might do a Q&A video, or they might do a Q&A thread, and I would recommend doing it on a specific topic and on the same day at the same time, because humans love consistency. Thought-provoking questions, really valuable advice and feedback based on their posts. This is what's cool. I survey and I poll my audience all the time. I don't create any content until I said, hey, what do you think about this, for the most part? Or I'll do a Facebook Live on a certain topic, and if it goes great, then I'll turn it into a lead magnet or something. But I'm constantly asking my group members for advice. It's a really great way on video to say, hey, 1 to 10, what do you think about this idea or this content, or what do you want to know most? So it helps with engagement and with nurturing. You know, make introductions to each other if you know some people in your group that want to connect. Post challenges and live content in there. You can create giveaways or prizes, you know, maybe during a challenge for the person who does the most engagement, they get like an Amazon gift card or something cool like that. Sharing story, like I said, inviting guest experts is one of the biggest things. I think that's super cool. And then sharing valuable content. Okay. Why is a tapping person the same target market as you who works with sales? Why is a tapping person the same target market as you who works with sales? I'm not sure what you're asking, Andi, but Binu actually does work on like money mindset and sales, but her certain technique is tapping. So I just felt like it was something that served my target market and also was her target market, but tapping is not something that I specialize in. So I hope that answers it. Cool. Okay, cool. When you're mingling, are you commenting and posting as yourself or your page? Is it cheesy to post as your page? Christy, I think a lot of the times when I was doing this by default, I just did my personal page, but I think it'd be really, really great to do it from your business page. So if people want to look into in your business more, they can go to your business page. That's my thing. If anyone else wants to add anything, that's great. Um, yeah, so Carlina says when you click to invite someone to your group, it doesn't invite, it actually adds them. Some people don't realize this. Well, I think it depends. A lot of times, like if I try to add someone to a group who signed up for You, but I'm not friends with them, it might just invite them. But either way, it's like I recommend just having people be able to just request to join a group. And you can always put up those questions. There's ability to go and put up questions so that you kind of vet who's coming into your group, which is a really cool thing a lot of people are doing. We don't do that. It's just extra admin work. It'd be a lot of time for my admins to go ahead and keep track of that. So that's why I don't do it. But my admins also are looking through posts and like trying to keep the group as clean as they can with all the members that are in there. So let people request to join and then approve them or have an admin approve them. So that's what I would say. Let them request to join and instead share your link and just have a really nice invitation, okay? Cheryl, we'll get to your question. I posted in the Facebook group for now. She says some other ideas for gifts or rewards for people who participate in challenges. Amazon gift card is good. Other ideas? I'll totally get to that. Keep asking that one. Okay, cool. For making offers. Now again, I think that just as I said before, unless your audience is really warmed up, I really recommend making offers that are a really easy yes. My offers are often coming off the back of a video where I'm sharing a lot of great content, but there were other times where I'd offer straight up discovery calls, more often assessments or free sessions. I was just talking to these 3 women in my mastermind yesterday, and they were saying, like, to this day, I got the most traction in my business by offering free sessions, and people were just like, like so many of them converted. That's a much easier yes. I wouldn't do it more than 2 times a month in your group ever. And I would always preface it by saying like, hey, I want to give back for all the great engagement in here. I'm doing this, sexy session with like a title and it's very specific about what you're offering. Like Pauline was doing like content mapping sessions. So it's something very niched and specific. And just say you only have a specific number available. You don't want to say I've got 15 spots. That doesn't position you as an expert. It positions you as someone who doesn't have any clients. So just think about it that way. And it's also cool, like if you do a free session, you can always say, I would love if you'd be willing to share your experience in the group and tag me, right after the free session. So if you're going to do a free session, the agreement could be that they're going to go ahead and give a testimonial. But then it's also a chance to sell them into your offer and things like that. So having people talking about your stuff or asking people if they're willing to share something about what you do, that would be amazing. Like I got an email this morning of a woman who bought one of my mini course bundles, and she was raving about what's happened in her business in the last week. And so we might ask her like, hey, would you be willing, to post this in the Facebook group, and can we use this in our marketing materials? So that's a really great way to kind of take advantage of doing offers in your group with free sessions or assessments. But I think a lot of times too, be generous with that content and then offer something specific and targeted at the end, okay? But make sure that you're positioning yourself as an expert, okay? And then obviously, Facebook Live is just so freaking powerful. It's just silly. You can just have such a brilliant opportunity to get visibility in your business and for free. So like we talked about with Facebook Live on your business page, EdgeRank is really what determines how much of what you share is going to be shown to the people who have liked your page or other people. So if it's great content that Facebook thinks is really good, they're going to show it to more people, and apparently whether they liked your page or not. So that's just important to kind of remember. But we've talked a lot about Facebook Live already. I'll have you read through this and you can ask more questions. And a lot of this is what I've talked about as well. Do a Facebook Live in your group, share a call to action that gets people on your list, invite people to tell their friends about your Facebook Live, invite people to tell people about your, your Facebook group and have them join, or to share the link to the social media that you're going to be sharing. So that's really cool. All right, so you can look through that a little bit more, ask me more questions about Facebook Live. All right. So this is what I'm going to say about Twitter. I wanted to put it in here because I feel like, it's still a platform that a lot of people use. For me, I actually we're cutting down a ton on Twitter. Um, we have not found that we've gotten like tons of leads. We tried Twitter ads before. It didn't actually go that well for me personally. This does not mean that this is not a good platform, but this is just some of the basic things that we did to kind of create some kind of following for me on Twitter. So that was a huge piece of the puzzle here, for why we really are not pursuing Twitter that much. I just haven't found it to be a huge thing. But a lot of times you're following other people based on their ideal client and influencers that reach your ideal client. Okay, so you might be looking for someone else who has a big following on Twitter with your ideal clients and interact with them so that you get, yourself in front of other people. You might hop in on conversations. You might use hashtags that are relevant to your brand. You can DM people, same as PMing people on Facebook, where you direct message those who you think fit your ideal client profile. You might see that when people add each other, they do this on Instagram and Twitter, where like you can automate a message going out that says, hey, you could come join my Facebook group, or here's like a piece of free content, or some kind of more personalized message. I haven't always been a big fan of that, to be honest. Robin usually was tweeting for me like up to 6 to 10 times a day, and sharing articles and pieces of content like that. We'd also put links in my bio to go ahead and have people, come and check out like the latest piece of free content or my website or things like that. But a lot of it is tweeting at influencers and having conversations and things such as that. So check out Twitter, and you can check out, there's different ways for list and community nurturing as well. Like a lot of people have huge Twitter conversations. I was never one of those people. So that's a few other things about this. I'm going to let you look into that for yourself. Now, Instagram is one that I think is a great platform. And I feel like this is a really up and coming thing. Now, it is owned by Facebook, so it's not like when you go on Instagram that you're completely diversifying. But I do think there's something cool about diversifying at least a little bit. So this is the same thing where you might, one of the most basic things is following people, who you think have a lot of your target market in there. So following based on ideal clients and influencers that really reach your target market, and using the hashtags, jumping in on relevant conversations. You could send direct messages to people if you wanted to. We usually post daily, Monday through Friday. And here's one of the biggest things about Instagram that I think is really cool. I feel like Instagram is a little bit different, but it's almost something that you can use as a mini blog. That's kind of how I think about Instagram, that I think is so different from Facebook. But it's almost like a mini blog where you can share really good story. It's obviously a really visual platform, so you want your branding to feel really aligned. I think story and like good tips, quotes that are like really great to get like reshares and things like that are huge as well. Hashtags on this platform I think are a way bigger deal than on Facebook. And the biggest thing that I think is so cool, I think I saw a post on Facebook the other day that said, do you watch Insta Lives more, or do you watch Insta Stories? And almost every single person said that I absolutely loved Insta Stories. So one thing that I've done a little bit of the time is I'll do kind of like a short snippet. Well, Insta Story is super short, and I'll have my URL on there that will lead people to a free content event, or it might lead them to my Facebook group. So trying to get traffic from Instagram over to my Facebook group, where I'll be doing like a longer teaching in my Facebook group or onto my Facebook business page, or putting URLs for my free content into my bio, or we usually put the sales page in my bio while the cart's open, but we may share a bunch of different Insta stories that have to do with great content that people want to know, or that are sharing URLs or directing people to other places. So that's pretty huge too. I am not an expert with Insta Live yet. I've tried to do Insta Live at the same time that I do Facebook Live, and that's been cool. I've had some people who have stayed on, but I haven't quite built a presence on Instagram the way I have on Facebook. So over time, I think Insta Live could really build up, but that might be a really cool way to go ahead and do those at the same time. Or like Gail's saying, Linktree allows you to have like several links in the bio. That's another thing you can do. So it's Linktree, linktr.ee. That allows you to have several links in your bio so you can advertise like a bunch of different freebies at once, or like your sales page and something else as well, which is really cool. And then you can also tag influencers to reach your target market. I think it's really annoying when someone tags you just because they want to, like, you know, like it's not like they really have a relationship with you, but they want to get more exposure. So I think a lot of the time it's good to go ahead and tag people when you really have a relationship, or when you're asking like a genuine question and things like that. But I think it's really powerful here to make sure that like your pictures are consistent, because it's such a visual thing. So for people who are in fashion or different things like that, or people who are really big into branding, Instagram is a great platform, or even people who are into food, things like that. I think Instagram is great, and I think kind of using it as a mini blog, using story, and really taking advantage of video and being able to move traffic around with video and share URLs is a really powerful way to go. Engaging in conversations, sharing great content via your posts, like I said, keeping them consistent, and tagging followers when appropriate. That's some of the stuff that I look at. And also posting about that next piece of content coming up. Remember, you can really do this to build your list, and tell them what like your next free content piece is coming up, so that you get more people subscribing. I know we've had people come straight from Instagram onto a lot of our live content events, and then we've had a lot of them enroll in UDU. So there are some of you who have found me through Instagram. Yeah, and you can share videos. This is a really cool thing to do. Share a 25-second or less testimonial video, or text, or picture, and include a link to your program or service. That's a cool thing you can do. So sharing like testimonial videos is pretty cool. You know, and you can even share replays of a live that will exist for like 24 hours right now. That's a cool thing you can do as well. So I'm a big fan of Instagram, and we're looking to get into it more and more. And when Jada comes in a couple of weeks, again, if you want to share any questions, she actually has a lot of knowledge on Instagram, a lot more than I do. So that's a cool thing too. All right. Now for LinkedIn, Google, and Pinterest, what I will say about this is that I think Pinterest is the one to focus on right now for a lot of us. A lot of our ideal clients are women, and actually 66% of people on Pinterest are women, but 33% are men. So even if your target market involves men, Pinterest can still be really great. Now, if you're someone who's focusing more on corporate, then corporate people, I think LinkedIn is a great way to go. Google Plus, a lot of times we, update some things in Google Plus just so that we're showing up in the search engine, so it's good for like SEO and things like that. But this is the one that I think for most of us is really huge. Now, for Lisa Fruman, who does more career coaching, or Heather Williamson, LinkedIn is probably going to be a really powerful place for you to be as well. I just think Pinterest is one of the biggest untapped social media platforms that exists right now. There isn't a lot of ad saturation. There aren't a lot of people running ads. The people who are running ads I've heard it's pretty dirt cheap. And I just think for a lot of us, our ideal clients are going to be there. So this is really huge. So my team posts daily, Monday through Friday, on LinkedIn and Google+. But here's the thing. I really want you to remember that I would rather you focused on one social media platform and completely mastering it, maybe two to diversify, than try to be like, oh, no, I'm going to post on LinkedIn every day, or like even Pinterest every day. I think I super recommend Facebook for almost everyone, and then maybe Instagram, or then maybe Pinterest, depending on what you do. Pinterest is also extremely, it's like another visual thing a lot, right? So again, that could be really great for graphic artists, fashion designers, food, things like that, but it's good for all kinds of things as well. But here's the thing I want to say about Pinterest. The way Pinterest is really different from other social media platforms is that it's not a platform. It is a search engine. Pinterest is like its own Google. People search Pinterest for quotes and tips and how-tos. That's the biggest thing that's going to get lots and lots of traction on Pinterest that I have found. So you don't want to use it as Facebook to kind of like do the same kind of posting and things. What you really want to do is go ahead and have a lot of titles and share your blog, that with titles that are like how to do this or 3 ways to get clients or whatever. So those are some of the things that I think are really powerful there. I'm going to go through this, and then maybe I'll take you over to my Pinterest. We're just starting to focus on this more, but on Google Plus, here are some other things that you can look at. Sharing your post in circles where your ideal clients hang out, appropriate hashtags, sharing articles is a cool thing to do. So those are some of the things that are all kind of grouped together for those 3. So what I want to do, I'm going to see. Hopefully I won't embarrass myself too much because I'm a young Pinterest person, but we're really, really moving in on this platform. So I want to make sure that you know. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. There's a couple things that we're starting to do on Pinterest, but I think the big thing is look at right at the top. There's a search bar, booking coaching clients, like podcasts, writing prompts, positive quotes. Like this is a search engine, So I think it's like and I think another thing too is like to have a powerful blog. But here's a couple of things I just want to show you, and this is true no matter what platform you're on. But like, here's my website right here. So if people go to Pinterest, they see my website, and then where I'm from, and it says what I do. I help entrepreneurs get clients plus get known online. Free mini course, book your first paying clients with this link. So if people are going to go ahead and click on this link, it's going to take them to a way to opt in right away. And that is absolutely what I want, right? So while that comes up, I'll show you this too. If people are going to click on my website from here, this is what's really important that I want you to start doing. Don't worry about it for now for your website, but even if you have a page, see how this is totally congruent. Helping online coaches and entrepreneurs get clients and get known. Same thing here. I help entrepreneurs get clients and get known, right? Download my free video training, book your first paying clients, download now. I don't know why my video is taking so long to go ahead and do that. Maya Ann says, I'll answer that question in a second. So this is what's so important, that when people are coming from, so first of all, for Pinterest, this is this book your first paying client. So if they click on that in my bio, they're going to go there, okay? And then, I don't know why my website is not uploading, but it doesn't matter, because what you're going to see is like, here's a spot right here that they can click on to get more clients. And then here's, I don't have to scroll down on my banner to go ahead and get, this is so weird. They don't have to scroll down on my banner to go ahead and get more information. There we go. Here's my title. There's a link for them to get like a call to action. And here's a link right here. This is really important. There's no scrolling down. My opt-in used to be right here along this bar. It's not anymore. I've moved it up. So the second they get here, it says helping online coaches and entrepreneurs get clients and get known, download my free training. So for Pinterest people, that's a big thing. Now here's the other thing I want you to notice on here. I just paid designers to do this, and it was so cool. But we started like having this kind of look. This is like, a Tribeca feel in the background. This is like a hardwood floor for like lake house. And check this out, 4 free ways to build your list by thousands using Facebook groups with Melissa Farr. Grab the guide. So that's pretty cool too. And you'll see, like we're just starting to get traction. So there's not really there's not a lot of stuff happening here, but this is just like the brand new kind of designs that we did. This is another one too. But you want people to know on Pinterest that it's you by recognizing like what your design looks like. So having everything be really congruent. If you look down below here, you'll see this stuff was not congruent at all. This was like older stuff, but this is what we're starting to do now. So there's that. And again, look how young I am. Some of you probably have more Pinterest followers than I do, but this is really, really cool. What else was I going to tell you about that? Keeping it consistent, having your banner in here. And then obviously like having your blog, having this link to your blog so that people go ahead and come on over to your blog if you have one. If you don't worry about it. But a big way that this can also work is here's this blog, which is almost the same freebie. On the blog, what you could do is one of these new lead magnets that you made, you can go ahead and have what we call a content upgrade. So it says click here for a free bonus video training. So that's something else that you can do as well. And then when I go to move off the page, it comes up and it just says, hey, get free access to this, the live training video. So a lot of times you can share your blogs, you can share how-tos, things like that as well. So again, I'm a little bit newer on Pinterest too, but Jada may have some feelings on Pinterest as well, but she definitely has a lot of feelings on Instagram. And then what I want you to look at is, you know, think about, like, are there other platforms that you believe your peeps are doing, you know, on other platforms? Are there other places that you think they're really hanging out? And as you can see, I think the thing I just like to be really transparent about is that, you know, Facebook has been one of my main ways, and Instagram's probably second, and now we're just saying, like, listen, we think Pinterest is huge. The consulting team I'm hiring to build this huge funnel for me right now, I'm just starting to build up my Pinterest account so that by the time we start running ads, they're even more effective. It takes time for a pin to get traction too. So my plan is to actually hire a Pinterest strategy to teach me more about it and to run it for me, and then start diversifying my ad traffic into Pinterest. You know, we have some ads going on Instagram and then going into Google Plus and other places, but I'm just sharing transparently for my business where that's at for me. And I think this idea of really focusing in and mastering one platform and studying it and seeing what works is just such a powerful way to go about it. If there's other platforms, great, you know, but it's just kind of interesting to see, like, which ones are really going to stick around. And those are the ones I've wanted to focus on. Facebook isn't going anywhere, right? And I don't think Instagram is either, because Facebook owns them. And I really do feel that Pinterest is up and coming. And I think that LinkedIn is pretty solid too for those of us who have corporate clients, right? Google also isn't going anywhere. So even if I don't use Google Plus hugely, it might be a great place for me to start running ads from. But things are constantly changing. You know, Meerkat and Blab, they came and went, right? Snapchat was really on the rise, especially for those of you who are younger than I am. Like, I'm an old millennial, but younger millennials, or if your target market is a millennial, Snapchat has been really huge. But now that Facebook is becoming such a monopoly and making Instagram have a lot of features of Snapchat, I've read a lot of articles about it, maybe not hanging in as much. So I want to keep checking that out as well. Okay, I'm going to keep going through because I want to hear from all of you. But here's the thing. Okay. Oh, Maya Ann says, used to be a Pinterest addict. Definitely been wanting to look into sharing my business on Pinterest. Cool. Yes, definitely. And you're also saying, have you found Google Groups to be a good place to focus? Not familiar with Google Plus. Not for my business per se, but I haven't put a lot of time into Google Groups. I think for us in Google, we've just focused on, like, posting enough things and using keywords. That's another thing for Pinterest. Pinterest, because it's a search engine, you want to be using keywords, right? That's why it will say a lot of times, oh, that's what I wanted to show you on Pinterest. Let me do this. And I'm glad you brought that up. The question about Google Groups is that, like Pinterest, I feel like it's a lot more about using keywords and really realizing that it is a search engine. It's not like other platforms, right? So what I want to show you on my profile is that this is how keywords are so important a lot of the time too. So I'm going to go, these are my pins. I'm going to go to my boards and just show you, like, some different things. So you can see, like, this is my really shitty Pinterest account before things were kind of different and stuff. Oh, there was Nicole. I gotta minimize this thing. Okay, so the first one I have is melissafar.com so that people can go check out stuff. But then I have quotes. Actually, this pin right here, stop wishing for more and actually do it, started getting a lot of traction. Social media tips, like if people are, you know, doing that, live streaming and video tips. We just redid my boards. Content creation tips, sales tips, booking coaching clients, lead generation, Facebook groups, entrepreneur and mindset tips, you know, feminine affluent entrepreneurs for my group. As you can see, like, we're right in the beginning stages of redoing a bunch of this, but having, you know, your boards be a lot of good keywords that are searchable, you really want to take advantage of that as well, I would say. Okay, cool. So diversify and simplifying your time. Basically what I'm saying here is that the first thing I want you to do is think about your target market. And I want you to spend some time asking them, where do you spend most of your time online? You know, like, what are the top 2 social media platforms that you're on? Maybe they're going to say Pinterest and Facebook, or maybe Instagram and Pinterest or something. Do some research and figure out where most of your people are spending the most of their time. You know, the reason I'm such a big fan of Facebook is because you can target so many people. As Julie Lowe talked about last week, you can target them by the magazines that they read, by the associations they're a part of, all kinds of different stuff. But do a little bit of research to see, like, okay, where are the top 2 places? Because that will help you know, okay, it's worth me putting all my time into these platforms. Or even just one is really great. When I was talking to Jada on the phone, I think she's going to say this when she comes in a couple weeks. She really said she also recommends, she tells her people, just master one platform. Just go to town on it, completely master it. As you start to build an online following on that platform, then start diversifying your time to another platform. And you also can push so much engagement from one to the other, at least a lot easier if you've already mastered one. So that's something to think about. So I said choose 2 platforms. I really would rather that you prioritize one, but no more than 2. I mean, you don't have to follow my advice, but it worked for me, and a lot of people who are creating great success, they're just doing a lot less better, because there's nothing worse than feeling completely overwhelmed online, okay? So do some research and decide where you're gonna go, okay? Then one thing I wanted to talk about really quick is just repurposing your content and being really efficient and consistent about it, okay? You want to be being generous and mingling, right? So you're starting conversations and you're sharing a lot of great content. My first step is always deciding what I want to share. So if you don't know this 3-step process, it's very simple. I use it all the time. And what I suggest when it comes to being on social media and getting really good at that, being generous, so that people are like, that person always knows so much about this. They're an expert. I'm going to start checking them out and following them, which they will do if you consistently share great stuff. People are always watching. I know I talk to so many clients and they're like, well, I don't know if this is working. And then they hear from someone who signed up. They're like, I've been watching you for 6 months, right? So what I do is I get in this practice. I would actually say for everyone on this call, for the next week, every single day, do this. It will take 2 seconds, but it will help you so much with like being able to always come up with content. So A, begin by observing your current circumstance, just that day, okay? And figure out like, okay, what's your story of the day? B, reflect on the lesson that you're learning from your current circumstance. And C, relate your learning back to your followers in a way that authentically shares your story, positions yourself as an expert, and provides them with great value, okay? So I'm gonna give you an example of like, I already have a story from today. This is how I decide what to talk about. So my story from today is that I woke up today in Montana at 6:30, which is 8:30 back Eastern time. So this call started at 9 a.m. for me, which is like not that much time for me. Once I get up in the morning and my little niece is around and everything, I don't have a lot of time to prepare stuff. And right at 6:30 in the morning, I realized that the internet on my phone wasn't working. So I thought, oh, my phone must be being silly. Well, then I tried my computer and it said, this won't work. And so I like didn't want to wake up everybody because I was getting up early. And I went and like unplugged the internet and plugged it back in and it still wouldn't work. And I was like, ugh. So I texted my brother-in-law. I was like, I don't know if you're awake, but like I have like 5 hours of coaching calls today. Like I really need the internet to work. So he came down. Well, actually, he didn't get the text forever. So I was like, okay, I'm going to like put on my face and my makeup and like make my breakfast and just get something done that needs to happen before these calls. And I could write to my team and say, hey, if for some reason I can't get the internet to work, let's give everybody like these other numbers. I called the library, which was closed until 10 a.m. here, to see if they had a free conference room. And then I realized like I could like do a hotspot from my phone. It probably would cost me a lot because I don't have unlimited data, but if I had to, I could. So I just did whatever action I could do on my side of the equation. And then I was like, I choose to relax. There's always a solution. I will find it. And I'm going to really watch myself not stress out. It was like 1 minute later that my brother-in-law came down the stairs. He restarted everything, apparently better than I did, and it all worked again. And I was like, huh. And my learning from that situation was that the more I keep calm and just focus on the solution, like if I choose focusing on a solution instead of focusing on worrying, almost all the time the problems take care of themselves. And so how I would relate that learning back is just to say, after this thing of, you know, having this freedom to travel over the world, but then also knowing that sometimes the internet is shoddy or things like that, I'm really noticing that not just for this kind of situation, but everywhere in my business and in my life, if I always focus on the solution, if I really make that commitment to let go of worry because it never does any good, things seem to work out. Where in your life or your business can you focus more on the solution of getting traction instead of yada yada? So anyway, that was a long story, but I did those three things. I observed my current circumstance, I realized what the lesson was, and I related it back to you. Now, I did that all off the cuff, so it may not be totally, short and sweet the way that it could be. But that's how I'm always kind of coming up with the next thing to talk about. So it's pretty cool. All right. And based on what I'm feeling inspired to share, a lot of times I might choose a theme, So for whatever came up that way, I might really choose a theme of like I'm going to do a live stream. And actually, maybe we should think about this for our challenge. When I was meditating the other day, I got this idea of doing 30 days of positivity and making a commitment to surrender and not worry for 30 days, where you say to yourself, in 30 days, I can go back to worrying if I want. But what I know is that worrying doesn't actually help anything. What helps is focusing on the solution and being positive. So it's going to be like, I was thinking 30 days of positivity or something like that. Tell me if you think that's an exciting thing, if we could add that into our challenge. So even if the challenge is about content, maybe if you do a whole day of positivity where you surrender all worrying, you also get a point. Tell me if you love that, because I think that'd be exciting. But based on whatever I'm feeling excited to share, I might decide, okay, this falls under like a theme, right? So this might be a theme of like mindset, or surrendering worry or things like that. But there's even a simpler thing right here. I might say like, okay, I'm going to choose overcoming objections on my sales call. That could be my theme for the week, right? Then I could divide my theme into topics for each email, I plan on sending to my list. But let's actually go with this days of positivity and surrendering worry. Okay, let's say that's what I'm going to do my theme about for this week of content, or even in a month. So it's about focusing on the solution or mindset work, right? I divide that topic into 3 different emails for the week. Well, one of them could be, let me think, how to surrender worry and focus on solutions instead, right? It could be how to calm your mind over fear of failure. What's another thing about surrendering worry? It could be, 3 steps to go from fear to taking action and focusing on a solution. It doesn't have to be that hard, but if you have a theme, whether it's over a week or a month of time, you can really divide it up and say, okay, well, here's the 3 solo mailers I'm sending to my list this week. And then you can go ahead and repurpose. Once you've written these, why reinvent the wheel again? You can go ahead and focus then. These could also be topics for a live stream that you're going to do in your Facebook group so that you don't have to keep redoing content all over and over again. So choose the theme, break it into 3 things, that's your newsletter, then repurpose those for your live streams. And the people who see it in several places are just going to love that you're consistent. I think that completely positions people as an expert when you're consistently coming back to similar things. Then it's showing that you specialize, and your followers actually get more out of it because repetition is what helps people learn the most, right? But see, I actually broke this down into like 4 different live streams. You could do a lot of different live streams on this. And then all of my posting on social media, usually Robin, who runs social media, she'll be on my list. So if we're sending out newsletters, then she's going to go ahead and take different snippets of newsletters and put them on Instagram and make that into my mini Instagram blog. Or she might have a really great newsletter that she'll repurpose as a blog and then share it on Pinterest, right? Or she might share my article on my Facebook page. Or I might repurpose a really great newsletter into a really great Facebook Live that I do on Insta Live or on my Facebook page or in my Facebook group. Any of those things, right? So you can just keep repurposing stuff as much as you want. I love it. That's a cool thing. And then I'm going to let you go through this on your own. I'll recap. I'll go over it really quickly. But social media, I do not keep my browser open. This is the in a nutshell version of this. I do not keep my browser open during the day. I only go on Facebook when I'm like teaching something or when I'm actually sharing something. And before I go on, I have a step-by-step process. So I really recommend that you say goodbye to the days of having different social media browsers open, totally keep them closed. And I do this 5-step thing. First of all, before I go online, I set an intention for my time. So I know I'm going to do a Facebook video in my affiliate program. I'm going to do it in my, in UDU today. I'm going to do one in, my Facebook group, and I'm going to do it on my Facebook page. Mondays are kind of my days where I go and do check-ins in the groups, if you haven't noticed. And so I set that intention. I was like, when I go online, I'm going to do these videos, okay? And then I create any materials offline. So if I'm going to write down content that I'm going to share or a list of things I want to talk about to you on a Monday, that's already mapped out. So I'm not like trying to write out the content I'm going to share, and I'm not being really specific, but I'm making a few notes. I'm not trying to do that at the same time that there's browsers open and I'm scrolling Facebook. I don't scroll Facebook unless I intend to say, oh, now I'm going to scroll Facebook. No, that's the only time I'll do it. So again, I set the intention for my time. I create all the materials while I'm offline. Then I make the list. What order am I going to do them in? I'm still not opening the browser yet. Then I just say to myself, you won't do anything else online until you complete these things. That's it. Then you can come back and do anything else you need to do. And lastly, I use a timer. So I would say like, okay, I'm going to do a video. This should be done in 20 minutes. So when that timer goes off, I know that I'm done, or I'm going to go through and answer questions. This should take me 25 minutes or something like that. But that's my 5-step process. You can look into it more. What I'm talking about here is just 75% of the time you want to feel like you're being really social on social media. 25% of the time you want to feel like you're promoting. It's just that you got to be giving more than you're asking. It's really that simple. It doesn't mean that you can't make offers as often. You know, if you're like just giving so much great content, you want to pitch off the back end, that's great. Just keep in mind that there's a balance here, okay? Let's see what else. And you can read more detail about that. When it comes to delegating social media, I really think that what I recommend is you mastering that 1 or 2 platforms first before you hand it off, or if you do get support with it, that people tell you how to use the platform so that you can learn through the process. And I do think too, like, I recommend you mastering it and being able to get clients online before you hand it off to somebody else. I really, really do. I feel so strongly about this. So unless you're at a place where the clients are rolling in and stuff and you feel really good about at least one platform you've mastered, I wouldn't delegate it yet. That's my personal opinion. Plus, you can always use a lot of these different programs to do scheduling. If you know of another program you love to use for scheduling, totally do that. And now I believe you can schedule posts in like your own Facebook group and things too. So you can actually book that out. So you don't even have to do it in real time. And then I have space for you to use your online marketing plan here, okay? So daily things you're going to do on that #1 platform, what you're going to do to build your list, what you're going to do to nurture your list, and what you're going to do to make offers. Then if you're going to choose a second platform, same thing here. What are you going to do daily to build, to nurture, and to make offers, okay? Now, you may not make these offers every single day, but, weave them in, okay? And then you can say weekly, if you want. You can say, what are you going to do weekly on this platform? And this is where you may say, okay, I'm going to make offers in these places at these times, okay? I like to go through and just get clear and write down, just brainstorm this. Even if you don't think you need to, write into these boxes and brainstorm this stuff because you're going to come up with ideas based on all of this, okay? So that is where we are. We made it. I know this was a longer one, but I really wanted to take a little more time. And then I also wanted to let you know that that Jada is going to be coming in and she's going to be doing even more of this organic social media stuff, and that's September 21st. Let me just look on my calendar right now and I can tell you exactly what time it is, but we're going to be sending out reminders ASAP this week. And again, you're going to be invited to listen to her give a presentation, to listen to her hot seat, my mastermind members. So you kind of get to be a fly on the wall in my mastermind call, which is cool. So submit questions ahead of time. If we have time after the presentation and hot seat in the mastermind women, then you're going to be able to go ahead and answer some of those questions. We'll get to what we can get to, but I just wanted to give you the chance because Jada agreed to let you go ahead and be a fly on the wall, and my mastermind ladies graciously were happy to do that as well. That's going to be at, let's see. I'm sorry, it's 2:30 p.m. I'm looking at my calendar and it's on Mountain Time right now. So 2:30 p.m. on the 21st is when that's going to happen. And again, we'll send out reminders this week because I just kind of got that put together for us. So questions, throw them at me. Cheryl, you said, do you recommend keeping Facebook groups closed or open? I really, really recommend keeping Facebook groups closed because I constantly have people who are, you know, like, I constantly have people who are like trying to get into my group. Like, it's called the Feminine Affluent Entrepreneur Group, and yet I still constantly have people trying to get in who are men, which is strange for me. I had someone named Honeysuckle Merry-Go-Round try to come into the group, and maybe they're a great person, but just things like that, I feel like, you know, you want to be able to filter. And if somebody looks like they're going to be a spam person, they look like they're just a spam bot, not a real person, you want to be able to, you know, protect your group from that kind of thing, because it's really important for you to have a group that has a really strong culture, okay? So that's a big, big piece of the puzzle. So I would definitely keep them closed. And if you want to add questions, then you can do that. So that's fine too. And again, like, this is an admin task that I really like to hand off, where I have someone else who goes ahead and really looks to the people who are joining my group. Cool, makes sense, awesome. All right. Very cool. And then Cheryl, you need some other ideas for gifts or rewards for people who are participating in the challenge. Amazon card is good. I've been talking to my launch manager for my next UDU launch, and it's just really cool because, like, Amazon gift cards are one of like the coolest things you can do. You could also give rewards of like one-on-one coaching time with you, especially if you make like the coaching session a really specific topic that's super duper juicy to people. They could love that, you know, so that's something. You know, I think another thing that is a great contest is like, maybe somebody gets a feature to your community, you know, like the prizes we have here in our challenges that we do are exciting because you get a featured, you know, Leanne gets a feature to my list and she gets a 30-minute private coaching session. That's what first place is, right? And second place is that she gets to share a lead magnet in my Facebook group for 24 hours as a pinned post. So those are some of the other things. If other, you know, if you want to go ahead and post that in the Facebook group, I think it'd be a great idea for you to see like what other people are doing as rewards in their group. That could be a really cool thing too. Or maybe you're saying like whoever does it gets to do a free training in my group. I mean, you want to curate the content and make sure it's actually good. So if it's them sharing like a lead magnet, that might be cool because you can look over the content and make sure that it feels really good, you know. Cool. We'll post in group. Cool. Awesome. Mel, I'm not sure how to launch my Facebook group. Do I need to send out some personal invites to friends who are suitable? Should that just be my main call to action for a few weeks? So great question. When it comes to launching your Facebook group, here's the things that I think are fun to have ready. I reached out to a few of my groups and just said, a few of my friends and just said, like my colleagues and peers, and said, hey, like, would you be willing to just let me like add you to my group while I open it? And then if you want to leave in a while, that's fine. I just don't want it to have 0 people in it. You know, that's something that I did in the beginning. So I just got like a bunch of like peers, like a bunch of the women in my group program were like, sure, I'll be in your group. Will you be in mine? And they just had them in there. The other thing I did was I just got really clear on my group description. So again, let's go back here. Here's my group description. So I kind of wrote this out. This is something that obviously I wanted to have ready before, and this kind of stuff. But then I also made a welcome video. So this is obviously not that, but I pinned a video just like this one was pinned. And I just said like, hey, welcome to the Feminine Affluent Entrepreneur. This is what this group stands for. If you are this person and you're looking to do this kind of thing, then this is the perfect group for you. Here's what you can expect. I'm going to be sharing great content, totally pitch free a lot of the time in here. It's going to be some of my best stuff on these topics. You're going to get an opportunity to network with other people here as well. And here's what flies and here's what doesn't in the group. You know, please see the group guidelines, and we only do this on XYZ days, you know, something like that. So I think that's a really powerful thing to do, so that when people come into the group, there's a few people in there, there's a welcome video from you, and under the welcome video, I would even share like your freebie, you know, say as a gift for joining the group, here's this thing. And then perhaps you have a couple posts ready to go that have some good step-by-step content, or maybe you schedule like a Facebook Live that week. I know some people may do more. That's all I did to start mine. And then I had my content calendar set so that I knew what I was going to be posting each day of the week. Just be prepared that if there's less people, whatever goes into the newsfeed is going to stay there longer. So I think sometimes people can be a little shy at the beginning, and you might find that you're the person writing a lot of the posts and creating a lot of the content in the group to begin, and that's okay. I hope that helps, Melinda. Okay, we have some hands raised. Okay, talk to me, Andy.
Oh, hi. Are we doing advanced questions yet or just on social media?
Just on social media for the moment.
Okay,
but
I'll put my hand down. I'll wait.
Okay, don't put your hand down. Just leave it up. I'll come right back to you.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Great. Thanks for asking that. I'm also going to go into the Facebook group and just see what else. Gail, hello, my dear. Is this a social media question?
No, I'll wait as well.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm going to mute you. I'll come back to you both. And then I'm just going to go through here and see if there's some other social media questions that came up, especially from like anybody else who isn't here. And then type in questions if you have any other things. And here's the space. Okay, so let's see. Just making sure. Yes, I need to say this. I'm embarrassed I didn't say this sooner. For anybody who's evacuating for Hurricane Irma, I'm sending you tons and tons of love and wishing for your safety, so please travel safe. I wanted to add that in too. And for Heather, we're seeing you, so we're sending you lots of love as well. Okay. Melinda, I'm so excited you're on the call. So Pauline, I wanted to get to this. Planning to run a 5-day challenge soon. I was wondering what you think of the idea of simultaneous. Okay, I already answered that one. Be back on video. Okay. So Cheryl, if you want me to go over that, definitely tell me too. I'll go over those questions. But yeah, let's go into advanced questions. Let's do it. Andy, talk to me, baby.
Okay, hi. I am posting right now. Last week or 2 weeks ago, hold on, post. I'm just doing it.
Yep.
You helped me come up with some rockin' titles, and now I'm like at the next step where I'm trying to get some good bullets.
Yes.
So
oh my God,
I'd like to go further. I've got two. So the title for one of the modules or classes is Steps to Actually Feel Exciting About Going on 90% of Your Date. So I tried to do anyways, will you help me just look through it?
Yeah. You know what I do think? Like, I think what you were trying to say is you're using statistics or numbers to make the title more, like, compelling, right?
No, I was trying to do, like, a formula. For me, these bullets are really hard, so I try to get those verbs and then sew that.
Okay, cool. Gotcha.
I come up with, make sure it's benefit-rich or not, vague and lame.
Perfection. Is it okay with you if I just make one suggestion about your title?
You can make a million suggestions.
Okay, cool. So I might say something like 3 simple steps to actually feel excited about going about online dating. Okay. You know, just because 90% of your dates, people are like, oh, but what about those 10% are going to be so bad? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, 3 simple steps to actually feel excited about online dating might be even better than steps to actually feel excited about going on 90% of your dates. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
These are the juicy benefit. Are these
question, is this like the second title, number 1 place to meet your Mr. Right, and then those are, okay,
yeah, I have 2 different ones.
So let's just start here. Uncover what is blocking you from having dates that you are excited to go on.
That doesn't even make sense.
But,
sorry.
well, no, you're good. So my question is, like, is this the language your ideal clients are using? Are they saying, like, oh my gosh, like, something's blocking me from being excited to go on dates? Is that what they're saying?
No, thank you. So I need to ask that.
That's okay. So, well, and I think they might be like, something about, like, changing your perspective, so you go from dreading your dates to being excited about them. You know, something like that. You know, or discover why you're terrified of going on dates, although people may already know why. But it might be like, you know, this is the number one step I use to go from being terrified of online dating to being excited and meeting, you know, someone I love spending time with, even if they don't turn out to be my soulmate, something like that.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Discover the exact steps I use to create dates that you will enjoy 90% of the time.
You didn't like that 90%.
I don't love the 90% because I feel like people are like, well, what about the 10% when I want to kill myself?
Right.
Okay, so you might say something like, you know, discover my top 2 tactics I use while on an online date to help myself enjoy my time no matter what.
Oh, love it.
You like
Okay.
them? Cool. Create chemistry in advance so you know that you will be attracted to him before you go. How the hell do you do that? I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I would write something because here's the thing. Marketing that feels like it's over-promising erodes trust in your followers. So you don't want it to sound, so people are like, yeah, whatever. And they may not be. But I'm intrigued, but I also feel like, well, I don't know if I really believe that, not to sound like a D-bag. But so I might say something like, create chemistry in advance, you know, discover my secrets for creating chemistry in advance to up your chances of being attracted to your date before you even go.
Okay.
And then you could write in parentheses something like, I know this sounds crazy, but I promise it works every time.
Okay.
Because that helps you be more real to your audience and more relatable so that you're not this person who's promising things that they're like, whatever.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Okay, so number 2. Number 1 place to meet your Mr. Right. Is this the title of like a freebie?
Yeah, well, this is going to be a lead magnet, and then it'll be like a longer class. But it's essentially what it is. It's a guided meditation that I have called Future Soulmate, and so it's all about mindset. So I was trying to come up with some bullets that weren't too woo-woo or intangible.
Yeah. So it's a meditation then.
It's a guided meditation, and like on the lead page, it'll say like download your guided meditation. But I was just trying to get.
Then why is the title the number 1 place to meet your Mr. Right? Like, is the meditation
head first?
What's that?
You have to meet him in your mind first. You have to kind of know what you want. You got to believe that you can have him.
Gotcha. So I think that you're going to be more in integrity if your title is speaking to that, because you want whatever you're saying you're going to give to be what you're going to give, and you don't want to leave any room for people to say, like, I expected this and it was totally different and in a bad way.
Okay.
Right?
Like you thought I was going to say at a meetup group.
Yeah, like what I was expecting for this, which this could be another really cool idea for a freebie for you, is I would say like the top 10 places to meet Mr. Right, and it would be like a guide for like all the best places to meet partners.
Mm-hmm.
That could be really cool, but that's completely different. So put that in your back pocket for like your next freebie. But this one, you might be like, okay, like what did you say the name of the meditation is? Because I actually really liked that.
Future Soulmate.
Ooh, okay, cool. So it's like it's like I would call it like Future Soulmate, and then the tagline would be like your simple guided meditation to manifest your soulmate in X amount of time, or something like that. Could be super cool. Does that feel good to you though? I don't want to. Does that align with kind of what feels best for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna take that manifest word. That doesn't resonate with me. I hear it so much. So I'll sit with that. But I like that. Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I hear where you're going. Okay, cool.
Great. Okay, so let's look at these then and see if they make sense. Get crystal clear about who. Okay, this is perfect. This aligns with the meditation one. Okay, get crystal clear about who your Mr. Right is, so you can focus, feel grounded, and attract him. Avoid Mr. Wrong. Crystal clear. Yeah, something about like get crystal clear. Crystal clear about who that Mr. Right really is for you, and avoid for good attracting Mr. Wrong or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Feel lighter and more loving in your mind and body so you can bring peace, joy, and positivity back into your dating life instead of frustration, anger, and pessimism. Nice work, lady. I'll take it. I really like that one. Fill up your mind and heart with anticipation so you can feel excitement about the dating process and avoid exhaustion and burnout. I would like this to be more about the benefit that they really desire and less about the how, because Your second bullet is great. It's about how, right? The first bullet is great, and we're going to change it to more about benefit. We always need to lean more on benefit because people need to know in like 3 seconds or less, what am I going to get from this, right?
Okay.
So I would say learn exactly how will fill up your mind and heart with anticipation.
I'm just trying to get them excited about it again.
Yeah, so I would say learn my number one secret to feeling excited about your future soulmate and finally knowing that they're waiting for you.
Okay.
Something like that. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna sit with it. I guess what this is now. So can you just do a general teaching on what? So benefit. So I know about benefit, but what is not a benefit? Can you just tell me what is not a benefit about number 3 so I can kind of get clear on what it looks like in writing?
Sure. Well, so fill up your heart and mind with anticipation is how. So what I'm going to focus on, I think what you're asking is what's the difference between a benefit and talking about the how or the tools, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you're doing marketing and you focus a lot on how you do what you do, that's less attractive to people. If you focus on the result that's going to happen, then that's what's really going to pull people in because they don't really care, especially in quick marketing, about how you're going to do it. They just want to know that this is something that's going to work to help them get a result, right?
Okay.
So what usually happens for a lot of us when our marketing isn't hitting home runs is that we're focusing too much on the how. So it's like use these meditation practices and feel blah, blah, blah. Now, you know, avoiding exhaustion and burnout and excitement about the dating process, those are benefits, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So those are your benefits. So fill your mind and heart with anticipation is how, because it is pointing to the tools that you use to help someone get a result, right?
Got it. So I could take that out, but go ahead.
Well, I don't know. You don't have to take it out. It's okay to have how in as long as your benefits are really, really power-packed. If you read this and you say, okay, those benefits make me feel like saying, oh my gosh, I totally need that, then you know your benefits are juicy enough and I wouldn't worry too much about the how. If you read a line and you realize it's all how, it's just like fill up your mind and heart with anticipation about dating, that would just only be how, okay? Mm-hmm. So the first thing is you want to check and say, are there actually benefits or is this all how? If it's all how, put more benefits in. Then you want to read it and you want to say, okay, these benefits make me feel like I absolutely need that. But if they're not getting you like crazy excited, like you want to buy your own stuff or sign up for your own stuff, that's when I think you want to try to make your benefits more tangible, which you can do by like saying a certain amount of time or maybe putting a statistic or a number in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you so much.
Totally. This is really, really good stuff already. So I might say like...
But I'm not crazy about it. That's why I wanted, you know what I mean? It's not I'm not feeling excited.
Well, I'm crazy about number 1 and number 2, but this third one of like fill up your mind and heart with anticipation so you can feel excitement. No, it's not that bad. What I was going to say is like learn like my top secret for creating a strong belief that your partner does actually exist for you, and learn how to attract them in X days or less, or in the next 6 months or something like that.
Right.
That's pushing I need that button.
That gets me excited. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
To get more exciting stuff in there. All right, thank you.
Sure. Good stuff. I can hear you clapping. I love it. Okay. Claire, you said you want to ask a technical question about Facebook ads. Try me. I can't promise that I know every single detail because I'm not an expert, but definitely type it in or raise your hand. Okay. Oh, yeah. Look at all these peeps. Okay, I promise I get to Gail next, so I'm going to get to her. Then I'll get to you, Claire. Then I'll get to Myan. Oh, and Mel. Oh, I'm going to do Mel next because she's in Australia and she's up really early. Okay, talk to me, Gail.
Yeah, I'm trying to tag you, but I can't find you apparently. I'll just write so that the post goes back up.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Yeah?
Let me click the discussion tab. Here we go. Yep. Okay.
So it's about... Yeah, go ahead.
You had 15 women click the link for your Labor Day offer, so you want to make sure I send another email to my list about it. Here's the draft. I'd love to get your feedback. Cool. Get my entire video vault to learn how to book your first clients. Is your biggest challenge to attract highly qualified leads to make booking clients easy? Or is it to build your email list or Facebook group to thousands so you know you can have consistent stream of clients signing up for your services every month? Burp, sorry, I hear you. It was definitely struggling with these two topics at the beginning of my coaching business. I was. As I learned more and more from my mentors and experience, I was sharing the strategies that worked for me and the lessons I was learning with clients. I created a video vault where they can watch more than 30 videos, including all my paid courses, and learn topics such as how to stand out and magnetize your clients using your unique story, how to keep fears, right? How to conduct market research, only 5 actions you need to book clients, how to master your sales conversations, This week only, you can get my entire video vault when you buy the Fast Track 3-hour strategy session where you will map together exact steps you need to take. Cool. 90 days to attract highly clients to your Facebook group or email list. Systems to set up to make sure you get highly targeted clients, the content to share with your community to get members to work with you and create profits, knowing when to nurture and when to make an offer, the 3 key principles to client, the do's and don'ts, how to automatize the system, how to create your customized plan to sign up 3 months in. Let me get back to video vault. So are these bullets right here talking about the intensive?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are about the intensive.
And the other one are about the, yeah.
You can always go back to the video vault to get details. Idea. Oh, cool.
I don't know what do they prefer. I think, I had 15. My supposition is that they were attracted to get the whole vault. That's why in that follow-up, I am highlighting the video vault more than the intensive.
Okay. Because you think that that's what they're wanting more.
Yeah, because there is no discount on the intensive.
On the intensive, yeah.
So I'm trying to say, what's the special thing about that?
Yeah, I actually think this is a really juicy offer, Gail. Great work here. I think the email could be a little more organized, a little more streamlined. The only thing I'll say is that I think that you could present the video vault as, in your last email, was it more focused on the intensive and then the video vault is kind of the bonus, and now you're kind of doing the okay, great. Then I like that. I really like that you're kind of leading with the video vault first, since I know that you led with the intensive last time. So that's great. Great work. What I would say is that I don't know, let's see what the other women say. We'll ask them a question if they can comment below. And if everyone can comment below on Gail's post right now, something about 30 different videos and all this stuff, I just think you might make it a little less overwhelming sounding. There may be some people who are like, oh my God, even though a lot of people like to have all those videos, part of me wonders if it would be, if we could just tweak it tiny bit to make it less oh my God, all of these things, and just kind of, I don't know, that's kind of my thought. I don't know if there's other people who feel just type below here, ladies, if you don't mind, and tell us if you felt like it was overwhelming, put in overwhelming. If you think it actually makes you want to buy it, put in buy or excited or something like that. I would love for you to help us out here. But let me see this. Get my entire. I can
remove the title, otherwise.
Well, I might say get free access to my video vault that teaches everything you need to know about booking your first paying clients. That's kind of a long subject title, but get free access to my video vault, and then in parentheses, everything you need to know about booking your first paying clients. Something like that. I was thinking access as well, said Christy. So there's people typing. Thank you, ladies, for typing in there. So I just think that might be cool.
But that would be bonus, though. Is that misleading a little bit? Because it's they're not going to get access to a free...
I mean, I'm sure if someone's going to get super pissed about that, maybe, but maybe they're not an ideal client then. Or you could say your chance to get free access, or last chance to get free access. You know what I mean? It's a chance. You want to do that? And then I might start this and just say, if oh yeah, this is great. Is the biggest challenge you're facing, or is your biggest challenge being able to attract qualified leads? This sentence is kind of tricky right here. I think it's just translation. I think it could be easier where you could say is booking highly qualified leads, or is getting new clients consistently your biggest challenge? Make it so simple, okay? Or maybe like, do you struggle? Then I say, do you struggle to build your email list or your Facebook group and feel like having thousands is, yeah, do you feel like building your email list or Facebook group to thousands is like such a huge challenge for you? You know what I mean? Do you wish that you could have a consistent stream of clients signing up for your services every month? Like kind of those three questions at the beginning, you can listen back to the replay. You can say like,
What
I
is
hear
the
you.
small shift you're making?
What?
What is the small shift that's happening in
What do you
the
mean?
way you say it?
Oh, yeah. So
Oh, I say, is it, and it's
I
more
don't
like,
think
do
it's
you?
even that. It might be something like, I know French is your first language, but I feel like the shift I'm making is I don't know that there's an easy way to step by step it out because, I love to do that, but I'm trying to make the sentences just be like reading level of a 10-year-old. If I say to a 10-year-old, is your biggest challenge to attract highly qualified leads to make booking clients easy? They might be like, what? But if I say like, is getting high level clients the thing that's hardest for you? Or is getting high level clients your biggest challenge right now? Do you see how that's like a 10-year-old can understand that that grammar?
Okay. Yeah.
And then like, or is it to build your email list or Facebook group 2000 so that you have a consistent stream of clients signing up for your services every month? The 10 years old's like, you lost me at like build. So I would say, or is building your list or Facebook group to thousands not happening? Right? Or this last part, I break it into two sentences because it's more powerful that way. Do you wish you could have a consistent stream of clients signing up every month? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. And then this is great. You relate to them just like you would on a sales page, which is what these emails are. They're mini sales pages. I was definitely struggling with these two topics at the beginning of my coaching business. As I learned more and more from my mentor's experience, I continued to share strategies on video that worked to book clients. The exciting news is I have an entire video vault of every single strategy I've used to start booking clients and creating X amount of dollars, in a 30-day period. That could be really sexy. And then you'll say, just a handful of the topics, some of the top topics that I think are so helpful would be, and then I'd have less of them here.
Yeah.
10 ways to book discovery calls, the only 5 actions you need to do to sign clients, how to master your sales conversations to do more than 70%, how to stand out and use clients magnifying using your unique story. Those ones that I just went over, I love. I don't think you even need the rest. And you could say, and much more. So you could say, for this week only, you can get access to this entire video vault, which includes up to 30 videos, when you invest. Don't say buy, use the word invest, just a little note for everybody. Invest in my Fast Track 3-Hour Strategy session. I would love a different title where it's like, because your strategy session is all about multiplying your online following in your Facebook group and email list. So
Fast Track is the name of the package. So Fast Track is what they're gonna see into the shopping cart, but you want me to title the Fast Track package?
I think it would be so much sexier if you were just like, supercharge your Facebook group and email list 3-hour strategy session, or multiply your following in in parentheses in your Facebook group and on your list 3-hour strategy session. That's what I would say. And then you can just say, for this week only, you'll get access to my entire video vault, parentheses, 30 short and simple videos about, topics to book high-level clients. And you could say, don't worry, you can, even with just a couple of these videos, you can start booking paying clients that you love. And then I'd say, and you'll get access to this when you buy my Multiply Your Following 3-Hour Strategy session, where I'll be sharing with you how to majorly boost the number of members of your Facebook group and leads on your email list.
Yeah.
Cool. With this too, I would simplify.
Where are you?
Oh, do you see where I'm?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this one I really like. The systems to set up to make sure you only get highly targeted ideal clients into your group and most importantly. What? Maybe I don't like it. um,
I missed something here
I
too.
would say something like the exact 3 systems you must set up to get highly targeted leads in your group and on your list. Like mapping out the best content to share with your community to attract clients who want to work with you. Knowing when to nurture and when to make an offer, that's great. Oh, I actually like this one too. The 3 key principles to creating clients from Facebook groups or your list. Just end it right here. The 3 key principles to creating clients from Facebook groups or your list.
Yeah.
How to monetize the
Right,
system
some
page.
cuts, what's going on?
How to create customized plans, set 3 clients from your group. This one. I like this one too. I don't think you need this one, and I don't think you need this one. These 2. I think you can cut those out. Cool. And then I think the rest is really great.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Good stuff. Okay. Ooh, we got lots of stuff now. Oh, Mai, you said you do have a question about organic engagement. Really quick, I'm going to get to Mel because she's up in the middle of the night. Hi, lady.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Are you sleepy?
I'm still awake. I'll be going back to bed very soon though.
Okay, good. I'm so impressed. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. So I feel like my question's kind of dumb, but then
No, it's
I
not.
probably just need to get over some stuff and make things happen. I have I think there's a lot of stuff going on for me with visibility right now. Like my question before about launching my Facebook group, I've got all those things that you mentioned set up. I just need to actually start inviting people. But my big thing is around emailing my list. Like anytime I sit down to email my list, I just distract myself with something else and then never actually get around to doing it. And I think maybe I'm struggling to work out like what I actually want to say in my email list. Because all of my content ideas, they're around, I guess, more blog posts and videos. And then when it comes to emailing, I don't know, I just don't really know what to say. Or I feel like if I start to talk about some of those ideas, it'll end up being this big, long novel. So I don't know if it's actually a question of I don't know what to say or if it's more fears around being visible. I feel like emailing my list is kind of intrusive for some reason. So there's probably a little bit of a block there as well. But
I think that's the biggest block.
Yeah.
You don't have a problem with creating good content. I think that's BS. What do you think?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, I could be wrong. I just feel like I've seen some of your writing, and I feel like you actually, I feel like you've created a bit of content at this place, unless I'm wrong. Is that true?
Yeah, look, I know my writing's good, but I think I'm really trying to work out what it is. Like, is it just a question of I just need to get over myself and just start sending things and getting into the good habit of doing that? But I guess I feel like I want my emails to be a shorter snippet and then maybe directing them to other content where they can read a more detailed blog or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, do you have some blog posts?
No, not for my new messaging spin. Like I've got some really good old blog posts, but they're more general, I don't know, feel good stuff. So I definitely need to create more specific content around my niche now.
I'll say that what I did is I had this whole idea about getting clients from Facebook Live. And then I was like, I did a video about it. And I was like, oh my God, that video worked well. And I had all these notes. So then I took the notes and I wrote like this whole PDF guide. And then I was like, oh, this is a big PDF guide. What if I split it into 3 blog posts? So then I had 3 blog posts, plus I had a lead magnet, plus I did a video in Facebook Live. Then I wrote to my list and only did the first 30% of every blog post, and then I said, if you want more, go to my blog and read it there. But I repurposed them all as newsletters. Yeah. So it led straight to my blog. I mean, that's kind of the more practical side of it. And another question, what did you think about that whole thing of the 3-step process of number 1, what's happening in my life right now? Number 2, what am I learning just today? Number 3, how can I relate it back?
Yeah, I love that approach. Okay. I almost feel like I need to sort of hit the fast forward button a little bit. Like I almost feel like it would be so weird for me to start having those kind of conversations with a list who really do not know me at all because I've neglected them so much. To then
Well,
start
then
just,
maybe
you know,
you should
talking
have
about
those
my day.
so that they do get to know you.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you, as long as you're coming in and you have something you can share that relates to them, they're going to get to know you because you're sharing more of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to make it super personal, and maybe that's not how you choose your topic. Maybe it's not what's happening in my life today. Maybe you're like, you know what? The thing that I think would be really helpful is this. Like, give me an example right now. What's a topic? Don't worry about it being too specific or anything. Just tell me without even thinking, what's a topic you like and your people probably need help with?
So it would be something around messaging, probably about being really specific in your content and not vague.
Okay, great. What's a specific place that you can be specific in creating content?
As in where I would be sharing the content?
No,
I
as in like,
Facebook posts
like when it
or-
comes to being specific, where would they need to be specific in creating their content? Or what's one example of one little pointer you would give them about how to be more specific?
One that comes to mind is posting in Facebook groups. Like if they're making an offer, being specific about what people would get out of that offer.
Okay,
Like
great.
benefits and stuff. Yeah.
What if you just did one newsletter straight about that? Or even if you really don't want to write, you could do a video in your Facebook group and then send the video in the email. Thoughts?
Yeah.
About just like breaking things down? What I do is I'll say like, okay, sales. What about sales? It could be a bunch of things, but maybe it's just exactly how to start the sales conversation, and that's it. Exactly what I say to open a sales conversation. So if it's going to be so long, because that's one thing I heard where you're like, oh, it's going to be so long.
Yeah.
Then say like, okay, every single topic you have, try to divide it into 3 different topics, and then divide those 3 topics into 3 more topics. Here's an example. I'll do this in like 2 seconds. Sales, how to open the call, how to structure the call, how to overcome objections. Okay, those are 3 topics. Now, how to open the call, I would say like exactly the first thing I say, the thing I need to make sure happens when I open the call, the first line I say when I actually start asking them questions. And those could each be their own thing. Then structuring the call. The 2 most important questions most people skip, how much time to spend asking them about their challenges and why it's so important to use their language. I actually could get probably 7 more in that one. And the last one, overcoming objections. I could do 4. I have to think about it. I don't have the time. I have to ask my spouse. I can't afford it. And then I could break each of those down. My number 1 question about that I ask when people ask I can't afford it and why. So see how I'm like multiplying the amount of content, but each of them like are little bite-sized pieces. Is that helpful at all, or is there something else? What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. I think when I break down those topics, like it's then also a question of like not giving away the farm and just going, okay, if I'm talking about this, all I really need to give them is just this juicy bit. Like I feel like when I talk about something, then I need to explain the whole lot, but obviously that's
No.
they
They're going
don't
to
need
get
that a
more.
lot.
They're going to get more if there's one thing they can focus on, because first of all, they're a beginner. They can't incorporate all the stuff you want to give them. So a lot of times when we're being generous, we're drowning our clients. They get overwhelmed. Then they don't get results from us, and they don't hang around. When I was working with Gina DeVee a few years ago, she was saying that she got this email from this health coach that said, like, here's one thing you can do. Make a green smoothie every morning. And she's like, other health coaches may have scoffed, but I was like, I'm so excited about one green smoothie. And she said she did it, and she's like, I felt so great. And like, you know, whatever you think about that, the main point of that story is that it was one thing and one thing only. So I think focus on keeping things really simple and giving bite-sized stuff, but don't worry about giving away the farm about that one thing, you know? Like, totally just go for it and give them everything you can about that one piece. But if you break it all down, then you get to know, okay, I'm doing this section right here. That means it doesn't include all these things around it. So I know I'm not going to talk about that. So what am I going to talk about? What are 3 pointers that are in this section? And then you just stick to those things. So not only do you figure out the little piece you're going to give, but you might decide 3 simple pointers for that. And that's the body of your email. And all you got to do is just, you know, bust it out a little bit, and you can go to the 5 steps for writing a newsletter, and you already have the body right there.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm not convinced right now.
Oh, it's totally, look, it's partly about knowing what
It's
to
the
write and all
visibility.
that kind of thing. It's more about that for sure. But
It's more about knowing what to write, or it's more about the visibility piece. Because I'm getting the thing that like you're freaking smart as you're a smart cookie. Like this stuff has been really helpful for you to learn about that, but I feel like there's a party that's like, and then it comes to getting visible. Am I right or no?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
no, it's
What about
definitely
getting
that.
visible?
Um, yeah, it's ugh. And this is coming up with everything. I think it's just a genuine fear of my own power because I'm holding back on launching my group. I'm holding back on even doing my mindset practice because it's all kind of just feeling very scary of like, fuck, when I actually do this, then it's all gonna happen. And I don't know, I'm not ready for that. I'm not going to be able to cope with
Why?
it, or I don't know, because I'm so ready for it in one hand, but it's I just have this energy that I've had for a really long time of teetering on the edge.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off there. I'm
Yeah,
not
go
going to
on.
let you retell an old story. You might not
Thanks.
like me right now, but
No,
there
no, please.
we don't have time for old stories. I was just listening to Abraham Hicks the other day, and I have to tell this because I think it will help all of us.
Mm,
And it was called stifled emotions. And this
mm,
person was like, well, whenever I go to like do certain things, I feel like I'm stifling my emotions of fear. And I feel like I
mm,
need to get them out before I move forward and do these things that have scared me. And there's a lot of times where I've said, like, just feel your feelings and go through it. And Abraham has said things like, sometimes there's nothing you can do but just ride it out.
mm,
And I think that's what she's talking about. But then Abraham was also saying something like, the only reason that you have emotions that feel stifled is because you have laid the groundwork with the stories that you tell that make you feel like you need to express these emotions that are connected to old stories that we just rehash and
mm.
rehash. So you
Yeah.
can decide not to lay the groundwork on those. I think these stories and like again, I'm being a little bit harder on you because I feel like I just know you are capable of so much, and I
Mm,
feel like I'm going to take the responsibility as your coach to be the person who's just like, no more, Melinda.
yeah.
Like, there's no reason that you can't be ready for this. And this
Yeah.
whole thing about being afraid of how powerful you are, like, I get it in some ways, but to be honest, no. No, 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 no.
Mm,
You, if this, your fear of it, that your anticipatory fear of what things might be like, I will guarantee you is far worse than any fear that could come up when this shit actually continues working on an even higher level than it is right
mm,
now. You
mm,
know? And I don't want to jump in the way of like saying like you don't feel that or you do feel that. I just think like this is where the rubber meets the road. And I think
mm,
the reason you joined this program is because you want to be surrounded by people who are just like, what about your commitment video? What
mm,
about all the
mm,
times that you have had this behavior before and you look back and where could you have been by now if
mm.
you just made the choice to be a little bit more scared about the unknown then?
Yeah.
And I don't want to, that's almost not even a good thing to say because I'm not like, look where you could have been at all. I'm just saying, like, this is your chance now. Like, what are you waiting for? And what's
Yeah.
really going to happen once this stuff works on a bigger level that's going to be terrifying? And I actually, that's not a rhetorical question. I'm curious. Like, don't
Yeah.
even think about it. Just what's going to be so scary as this starts happening for you more? Is your
I,
husband
I
going to leave you?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Like that's definitely something that comes up that because he's not an ambitious person at all, so I do have thoughts around outgrowing him. That's definitely one. I think one of the other ones that comes up for me is that I'm not going to be able to maintain it. That I'll get to where I want to be, but then because you see people come and go online all the
Okay,
time, and
sure. Sure.
yeah,
We're going to cut that story off too. But here's the thing. Maybe you don't maintain it. But
mm,
would you rather have an experience and realize you can do it and then learn to maintain it? Or would you rather just sit here and not even get the chance to maintain it?
yeah, mm,
And
yeah,
if your husband leaves you, I mean, and I'm getting really real about this because I mean it. It's like, I've even told Rob before, I was like, if there's ever a time that we outgrow each other or something happens, I'd really like you to move on. And
yeah,
I know that that's a huge thing to say, and I know that I'm not a mother and that you are. But I think it's just, I think sometimes our fears are so scary that we don't even give the people in our lives enough credit. Like,
yeah,
I thought that when my business took off that I wasn't going to be close to my sister. And now I see her like 5 times a year. I'm at her home right now. And our
mm,
family is closer than ever. And so the thing is, though, Like, this is what I know about humans. You can be miserable not living your full potential and keeping people who fit into your life close, or you can expand and probably be surprised that they are excited to be a part of that, even if it takes them a little time to come around.
Yeah.
And even if you expand and relationships change, then you will clear the way for people to come in and celebrate you. And I know that's scary as shit, but the point is, like, we're not here in this life to play small so other people are comfortable, regardless of what you think it's going to cost you. And you could very well be wrong.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yes.
You talk to your partner about this stuff?
No, not really. Sorry. Getting it. Like,
This is a place that's safe. I mean, you don't have to talk about anything you don't want to, but I've had plenty of partners before this one.
no, I guess I feel like I don't want to. I think for him, he's very much, because I've taken a lot of risks financially and whatever with, and so I think he's just got this, he needs to keep the boat steady. And so I get frustrated that he's not ambitious, but then I also go, well, look, I haven't given him a chance to be ambitious because he's really had to hold it all together while I go on this exciting adventure. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to me getting this to a place where it's meant to be, so that I can allow him to explore things that he might have wished he could have done all along and not done it.
So is this more like you feel like you got to get your shit together so he can live full out too? Or, I mean, has he even said that he wants to be ambitious? Is he sitting there stifling all of his ambition, or are you trying to run his life for him?
A little bit of both. I think that he would have more stuff to be able to, there's things that he wants to do that he just would never consider at the moment, and probably, yeah, I don't know.
I'm just going to put this out here. I could be totally wrong. I'm not a relationship therapist, so I'm not trying to say that to anybody, but here's this other thought I have. Like, sometimes opposites really do attract, you know? Like, maybe it's been really great that you are more inclined to taking these risks, and you have a partner who's willing to take this other role, because I don't know if that role would work for you. You know, like, you two may be the way that you are so that things can work in this way. And whether or not, regardless of how things go for you, I've found with some people that, like, if they haven't taken the risk, then they may or may not take the risk regardless of what's going on with you.
Yeah.
And that can always be your job. I mean, I work with plenty of women who have partners who, like, you know, take risks while they're taking risks because they're like that too, and nothing's going to stop them from doing it. And then I have partners who just wouldn't take risks no matter how well their business went. For instance, my husband, I still don't know if he wants to be an entrepreneur regardless of how well my business goes, because that may not be his thing. I don't know about your partner, but I just feel like the best thing we can do for the people around us is shine as brightly as we can to inspire them to be more of their full selves. And we have to trust that the universe is going to keep the things close to you and the things close to them that are going to let both of you grow. And if there's a little bit of wobbly time in the beginning, good. It should be that way, because you need to contract before you can expand.
Yeah, enough with the contracting now.
Well, apparently not. So you better start accepting it. Get with it. You're pushing it away so hard that it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So whatever you're pushing away, maybe you have a conversation with him, or maybe you have a conversation with yourself, or maybe you have a conversation with him while he's not there.
Yeah.
But I think there's sometimes to get real and really weigh the pros and the cons about, like, what's really the pro about staying in a space where you're, you know, letting all of your what ifs control you doing what you know damn well you can do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I have such faith in my capability and my talent and all of that sort of thing. And I'm definitely just projecting all of these ridiculous stories on what might happen instead of actually just going ahead and seeing what does happen.
Okay, cool. Thoughts? You good?
Yeah.
Some things to think about and digest?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to take some time because I don't usually get to talk to her. All right. Here we go. Lightning round. Claire Cleary. Talk to me. Isn't Claire Cleary the name of the
Yes.
Notebook character?
Oh no, the Wedding Crashers.
Oh, Claire Clary, Wedding Crashers, one of my favorite movies of all time. Oh my God, that was an amazing moment for me by myself. Okay, what's up, Claire Clary?
Okay, so this is very technical, so I don't know if you're going to like
Okay,
it.
I'll do my best.
So I spent the Labor Day weekend setting up lead pages and Facebook ads and all that stuff. So I put in, I just put in new to you. Here, I'll tag, I did a couple screenshots that with the pixel.
This is a pixel question?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know, but put up your thing right now, and other ladies may know. We have some pretty savvy
Yeah, I
people here.
responded one thing, but so I started running yesterday.
Your post? Where's your post? I need to see something.
I just tagged Q for Mel.
Oh, you probably didn't tag me, but let me just see it.
I did Q for Mel.
Okay,
sorry.
I see it. Okay, cool.
So you could see this top part is red, which
means the pixel isn't firing.
right, but then lower there's two other screenshots. So I have my regular pixel that's on my website, and then I put the event conversion pixel on my lead page thank you page. So that seems to be the one that's not set up, but I'm still getting, I don't know if it matters because I'm getting these analytics that show me, I don't know.
So basically what you're saying is that you have put a pixel on your page. It's not red, but it seems to be tracking something.
Well, I think maybe it's tracking my pixel. This pixel here is on just my website. And then the pixel that I wanted to track for the ad was the conversion of the thank you page.
Yeah,
on
I get
the
that.
lead
I get
page.
that.
Okay.
It says track all conversions from my Facebook pixel. I mean, I don't know what Gail said on this, but track all conversions from my Facebook pixel. This seems like it's a pixel to track conversions. So whether this is on your Facebook page, this like if on your website, it's kind of you're able to retarget people who land. So I'm not totally sure about this, but what I want to do is, could you? I'm going to go ahead and Julie Lowe said to go ahead and reach out to her with any questions. So what I'll do is I'll send this off to her and see if she can kind of get back to you on stuff. And then any other ladies who know what the deal is.
Okay, Gail responded a little. I just didn't know if I could have two. I guess I have two. I have my regular pixel and the event pixel.
So
and
what I'm
that's
going
what's
to do
wrong.
is Julie Lowe actually forgot to send us. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this thing right now. Julie Lowe is going to send us this thing about pixels. It's a pixel handout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that from her. I'm going to post it in the group, and then I'm going to take your question and go ahead and give it to her. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Should I just let this ad run? I mean, some people are clicking on it. Should I not run the ad? I mean, I don't want to stop it.
I mean, when you go into your newsletter system, are you seeing that people are signing up from it? Because even if a pixel isn't working, you can go into your newsletter and see, like, sorry, not your newsletter, into your CRM system, your customer relations management system, and see how many people have opted in.
Right. I did get a couple people.
Okay, so what I want you to do then is you need to go and see how much money you've spent on the ad. You need to see exactly how many people have signed up. Then you divide the number of signups by how much you spent. That will tell you your conversion. If your conversion is like, I mean, I don't touch ads for a while. So if you just started this, I wouldn't touch it for at least 3 days anyway. But if at the end of 3 or 4 days you're paying over like $6 or $7 per conversion, then I would stop it. If not, we have ads that start out. We had one that said $13 per conversion. We let it run a week. It came down to $1.29. So you don't want to stop stuff too soon, but you can take a look at the cost per conversion right now over the few days and just make sure it's starting somewhere in the norm. Then you could keep it running while we figure it out.
Okay. I see people are responding, so thanks, everyone. I'll go check this out.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, Emerald said she can help with it too, all this stuff. So and plus I'm going to have Julie put the whole pixel guide back in here too. Cool?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I think Maya Anna's been waiting a really long time. Hello, my love. Talk to me. I'm just seeing your mic almost go green.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. You just tagged me. I'm pulling
I
it up.
just got you, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can hear me?
I can hear you, and
Okay.
I just had you, and my question was in the group.
I love this. Prioritizing what to focus on next, right? This is where we are. So you have this list of things. Okay, I'm looking at this too. When reaching out to past referral sources or colleagues to let them know what I'm up to, I'd love to share one of my podcasts or my 10 habits video along with mini intensive 50% off sales page. Is that asking too much? The appeal is that it would give them a taste of my work plus how I can collaborate. Okay, cool. So just to answer this question really quick about this, when you're reaching out to past referral sources, I wouldn't kind of like send out all your stuff until you hear back from them when you just say hello the first time. Like when you reach out and say like, hey, hi, how's it going? Here's all my stuff. Here's how I can work with people. It's kind of like too much, too soon. So what I would do, I would just, and plus they're like, I'm not going to listen to your effing podcast. Like I'm sounding like a total dick right now, but they're not going to have time for that at the beginning. If they seem really interested first and you get some back and forth, then that's perfect. So what I want you to do is go ahead and reach out to them and say, hey, I see that you've been up to fill in the blank. Make it about them. And then you maybe ask them a question. I see you've been up to blah, blah, blah. How has that been going in terms of, the more specific the question, the better, okay? Then you can say, I wanted to reach out because this is what I've been up to in one sentence. Would love to see if you have time to chat quick about possible collaborations. I'd love to see if there's any way I can help, blah, 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 like that.
Awesome. Yeah, that feels so much better. And it's similar to how you would approach JV partnerships, right?
Exactly, because that's what this is,
Yeah.
right? Pretty much. So when they get back to you.
Oh,
What's
sorry. It's just a little harder knowing what they're up to. Not that there aren't ways to look into it, but because they're not online.
Yeah.
And unless they're like publishing something in a medical journal or something like that, it's a little harder to know. But I can find ways of finding
just
something.
do as much digging as you can because you might be surprised. And then if it's something general, fine. I just think leading in and saying like, hey, how is the work in your practice been going? And like ask a question about them. Even that is just really cool. And if you can find something specific, amazing.
Okay. Yeah, I remember different presentations they've given or like populations they love working with, so I can ask about that.
Perfect. That's perfect. And then when they get back to you, you can, like schedule a time or something. And I would, if they're a really great possible referral partner, then, it's worth having a quick chat with them. It's going to build trust way faster than like one email that just kind of dies. And that's when you can send over some stuff and they're going to be way more likely to share it and ask questions for you. Cool.
So you would ask chat and then send stuff.
I mean, like I would get your first goal to be to have a quick like 10-minute chat with them.
Right.
That's what I would do. And then, or if they're just like, hey, like let's just talk over email, then, what I would say is like, well, I would still ask a few more questions about them and just be like, curious if there's any way that I could be of service to your community, blah, 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 blah. I have a few ideas, maybe this or this. Like, again, very short and sweet so that they can read it quickly and get back to you. And if they don't, follow up a couple days later and leave them a voicemail at the same time. A voicemail. Okay. Hey, I just shot you another email about this possible collaboration. Would love to connect. Bye.
Yeah, I'll do that. A lot of them have these like gatekeepers, so I never even get to speak to them directly because they have like front office desk staff. But yeah,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. You email and say, please forward this, and you just keep emailing, and then you email and call at the same time because then people will be like, oh, this person emailed and called you. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that for sure.
Okay, let me look at this. Outreach and networking with local referral, promoting and offering my local workshops again, JV partnerships, creating a website that I'm not clear on, optimizing and tweaking my existing funnels. Do you need to optimize and tweak your existing funnels like right this moment?
Just one of them, the new one, that's the Tripwire.
Okay. Yes, planning your next content. You're right. This is probably number one. I like this with Outwork and this one, outreach and networking. I like these two as number two. Just building relationships online and offline, and just decide on like the amount of time each week or a couple times a week that you can afford to spend on it.
Okay.
With a timer on. Okay. Then maybe this. And then I think it's time for you to start doing a simple website, but I really, really don't want you doing it as much as possible.
Yeah, I have a lot of them
Wix.
repurposed already.
Okay, great. Cool.
Yeah.
Then I think it's time for you to get this up too. And again, for these things, you don't have to be doing all this stuff, but whatever's the top priority gets the most time. And then you can say once a week you're going to work on this, or you have a project day or something like that. So what I would do is like I would have maybe like a couple different things you're working with one of them taking up the majority of your time, and then move to the secondary thing and have a chunk of time to focus on it. When it's done, move up the next thing.
Okay, that's super helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few other things I didn't even include in there, but yeah, that I'm looking into as well. But I use the same system.
Yeah. How much time does it take you to do these local workshops?
It takes a ton of time, but I feel like they're pretty effective. If I repurpose the ones that I've already created, it's a little easier. But a lot of that is also like networking and figuring out where to offer them or whether to host it myself somewhere.
Yeah. Like then I think it's for you to like just decide if you're going to put time into it. I mean, if this is one of your main things and you think it's going to be super effective, then I would plan on your next live content and I would focus on a workshop or your next content or outreach and JV partnerships.
Okay.
One of them has to be a focus. You don't have time to do both, I would say. I don't think you do, unless you think you do.
No, I don't. I wish I did,
Okay.
but I don't.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah, thank you.
No props. All right. Oh, yeah, follow up on that. Gail says close the ad. This is a good point. If your pixel isn't positioned in the right place, then Facebook isn't going to know where to send your traffic to. So this is for everybody. If you feel like the pixel isn't working, the other thing it's doing is Facebook needs to optimize the ad. So if it doesn't know where to send people to, it's not going to be able to optimize your ad. So thanks, Gail, for adding that in. So, I mean, it's totally, oh, gosh. It's totally up to you, Claire, but that's a really good point, so you might want to turn it off. Okay. Mai, you've had your hand up for a long time as well. And then I'm going to get to you, Christy. Hi, Mai.
Hi. Can you hear me
What's
well?
up? Yes, I can.
So I've been having a little bit of a challenge just staying visible on social media because part of me finds it depressing or something. Like a lot of times when I look through these groups, I'm just like, I get bummed out by all these people trying to get, I don't know, something about it is like depressing. And so I'm just like, this is sad and I don't want to do it. And then I don't do it.
Okay.
So yeah.
What's your desired outcome? What kind of support do you want then in this situation?
Just how to change my mindset to actually do it, because I have had, like, when I'm visible on social media, I do get good results. Not necessarily, yeah, with some groups. Yeah, actually, this one girl that might become a client, like, randomly found me on my group, and so getting people to join my group is helpful. Through other groups. So it's like, how do I get over the whole, maybe just looking at it less? I don't know. Like looking at what other people are posting less? I don't know.
I mean, does that feel like it would help you out?
Yeah, but then it also helps sometimes to like do research, so.
Well, but how often do you need to do research right now? I feel like you're starting to figure out some things that work. Do you really need to be doing research every day? I do research like once every 3 months at most.
Oh, okay.
I'm a horse with blinders on. The only research I'm really doing is asking my subconscious what sounds most exciting for me and asking my own audience what they're most excited about. And then starting compelling conversations. I probably default, like more than any other person, like I'm on this side of the spectrum. It's so, I don't get distracted by almost anything. So like I don't even know what my competitors are doing most of the time because it's not that I don't care, but I don't care. I feel so excited about my own mission that I don't have time to rant, rave, or go and look at what other people are doing because I don't think that it's as exciting as what I'm doing. That might make me sound like a narcissist, but the fact is, like, you know, if I want to go see like, ooh, what's so-and-so doing, which I do, and I totally care what other people are doing, I'll go look. But I'm not deciding I'm going to spend time doing research unless I feel like I really need to do research for a specific topic right then. When I needed to do research, it was because I didn't know how to craft a post that got any engagement whatsoever. So I started paying attention.
Okay.
But once I started getting it, I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, I think the issue has been that like before I started my business, I loved scrolling through Facebook all the time, so I'm so
Yeah.
used to doing it. But now all that comes up is all these groups, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Well,
So
can you leave some groups?
yeah, or maybe like mute them or something, just so I don't see
Yeah,
them
like
in my
stop
feed.
following groups. Leave groups. You don't need to be in 10 million groups. I wouldn't even be in more
Yeah.
than 2 or 3. Get out of
Oh,
there.
okay. I'm definitely in more than two
I'm
or
in
three.
like, I might be in different groups. I only spend time in one group, mine. I
Yeah,
don't
I
go to
love
any other
my
groups.
group. I don't find my group depressing at all. It's
I'm
just,
so glad. Spend more
yeah.
time in your own group
Hmm.
and stop looking at what other people are doing
Yes.
if it depresses you. And I also think it's like spend some time journaling or whatever you do or meditating, whatever it is that you do, or even thinking to be like, I'm just curious. Why does this trigger me so much? Why does this make me sad? And there must be a reason that it's coming up for me so that I can learn something about how I can grow. Because that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we're triggered by something, it says way more about us than it does anybody else. You may
Yeah.
think that those people are depressing, but it's saying more because you feel that way by what you see. And then you can go and do some digging and just get really curious about it.
Well, yeah, because I think it's like, I mean, it's always about me, so I think it's a fear that like I'm gonna sound,
Yeah, I
salesy
do
or
too.
annoying or, yeah. So that's a good idea to just,
Yeah.
hmm
The other thought that comes up too is I'm like, oh my gosh, like I would play this game. If I were you, what I would do is I would be like, oh my gosh, what if my post became the most compelling post ever? Like, what if I was able to
hmm
write stuff that people were like, oh my God, I'm so glad you wrote that. This is so fun to talk about.
Oh,
I
uh-huh.
would be like, ooh, I'm going to make a little game with myself to see just how much engagement and like real, true, authentic, genuine conversation I can start right now because it seems
Yeah.
like there's a need for it. That'll make you stand out and it gives you a whole different goal. That has nothing to do with anybody else.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm excited about that for sure.
Okay, cool. Is that good?
Yes, that is very helpful. Thank you.
Bingo, bango, you're welcome. Cool. Christy, talk to me, baby. And then Cheryl, I'm going to go
Hi.
read your post. And then Andy, I'm going to answer your question. Hi, love. What do you got?
I have just a question about a lead magnet. I started to work on my first one,
Yep.
and I posted it in the uh, group or in our page or whatever. And I don't know how to tag you, and I don't know if you need
Can
that
you
right
just
now.
comment in the comment box?
Comment in the comment box. Okay, I can do that right now. Done.
Okay. Let me refresh now. Should go to the top of the feed. There we go. Okay.
Awesome.
Just working on creating my first. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead and read it, and then I'll talk after.
Just working on creating my first lead magnet, I ran a poll on my page and my audience requested to learn 3 simple exercises to combat your computer posture. Cool. I rounded shoulders, forward head, tight psoas, and erector muscles. Okay. 3 simple exercises to combat your computer posture. Would like to create a simple lead magnet titled 3 simple exercises to combat your computer posture so you can get rid of all that nagging pain between your shoulder blades, zapping all your mid-afternoon motivation. Too long, not sexy enough? My bullets are hidden secret to combating your computer posture. Why just pulling your shoulders back doesn't work. How to release the sneaky muscle that is keeping you stuck in a slouch. Oh, I love that. The trifecta exercise to anchor it all in, leaving you feeling confident, more energized. The delivery. 3 videos, deliver an email, purpose, audience, building, to capture their email. Okay, cool. Write them to the Facebook page. Okay, cool. I think that this title is pretty cool. 3 simple exercises to combat computer posture. Now I think the benefits could be better. So that you can eliminate back, shoulder, and neck pain. I don't know. I feel like sometimes people's like figures even look better when they have great posture than like the Quasimodo figure, right?
Yeah.
You could make it silly. You could say so that you can eliminate shoulder, back, and neck pain during the day. Look sexier instead of having Quasimodo posture. And avoid injuries that may cause chronic pain or something like that, so that there are really tangible results like that.
Oh, and that's not too long to put all
I
that
mean,
in
it is a longer title. It could just be 3 simple exercises to combat computer posture, and then underneath it could be like for this person who's looking to avoid this, this, and that. It could be that too. I am probably like, I am the queen of having longer titles, but sometimes the titles I think can be so damn good that people are like, ooh, I really need that. And they'll even be like, this is a long title, but I really want to learn this. And I'm like, well, apparently it wasn't too long then, was it?
Okay.
Okay. So test it out. Try it like short with a tagline, and then try it longer. And then I think it's super sexy. Cool?
Perfect. Okay, yeah. And thank you for I got some great feedback from people in the group, and I used that to retitle it, so that was great. Thank you.
Bam, of course. Do you want to look over these bullets really quick?
Yeah. I'd love
The hidden secret to combating your computer posture so that you can avoid chronic pain and joint injuries as you age.
Awesome.
Right?
Thank you.
When we put on so that you can, and then we add in benefits, that's when people are like, ooh, this is what I'm going to get, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Why just pulling your shoulders back doesn't work to avoid neck and shoulder pain during the day. Something like that.
Yeah, I got it.
How to release the sneaky muscle that is keeping you stuck in the slouch, and what to do instead to quote, lose X pounds by, standing taller or something like that.
Perfect. Got it.
The trifecta exercise to anchor it all in. People don't necessarily know what that means.
Okay. Wasn't sure.
The quote, in quotes, trifecta exercise. The trifecta exercise I use with my clients to help them correct, to help them correct their bad computer posture so that they feel more confident, energized, and productive during the day. Something like that.
Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good?
Yay, yeah. Thank you. Awesome.
You're welcome. Cool. Glad that was helpful. Okay, Cheryl, let's go look at what you got, girl. I know it's down here somewhere. If you're listening right now and you want to tag, that's great. Maybe I'll find it first, though. We'll see. Cheryl, where is she? Where is she? There we go. Here we go. First run at some content. I watched the How to Write a Newsletter in 7 Minutes and used it to write the following content. Question is, how does it sound to you? It seems more like it should be a lead magnet or something to me. If so, do I have to rewrite in a different format? All feedback appreciated. Okay. How one shocking doctor visit changed my life forever. Oh, this is a good title. Have you ever gotten such alarming news you literally felt your face go numb? Put a note right there. A couple of years after having my last child, I went into my routine doctor visit. At that time, I was 35 years old. My doctor told me I was overweight and pre-diabetic. I knew I was a little fluffier on the midsection, feeling lack of energy, but that was completely unexpected. I thought I was eating healthfully and exercising. I ate whole grains, quality cereals, mostly home-cooked dinners, and I exercised constantly. I had one of those large two-seater baby joggers that I dutifully ran behind all over town, pushing about 100 pounds of boy in it. That's awesome, several days a week. I was shocked, overwhelmed, and a little ashamed, but I asked my doctor for advice. He had no actionable advice for me, just a warning. Get this under control. I'll have to refer you to a diabetes doctor at the next checkup in 6 months. Pardon me, but WTF. I drove myself home feeling shattered, frightened, and crying. I later confided in a friend, and we embarked on our own health adventure. We started researching and trying new things and ended up discovering the path to lifelong sustainable health while enjoying it. We never counted calories and never went hungry. Oh, needless to say, I was pumped for my next doctor visit. At that appointment, I was down 22 pounds overall, and I had visible muscles for the first time ever. Whoa, sexy mama. My doctor asked what I did, and I happily told him. I noticed, however, he looked disappointed or maybe even disbelieving. I could read in his face that he thought he would be having that warning conversation again next year. 7 years later, I'm still lean, strong, and vibrant. Yeah, baby, I have made it the mission to help as many women as possible to reclaim their vibrancy and gain. If you can relate to this and want to learn more about the path of living vibrantly, then join my group, the Wellness Group. I have to sign up for a discovery call. Sign up for my intro webinar that doesn't exist yet. Cool. I think this story is super fun. I think it might be cool if you just use this as like a thing to join my Facebook group, The Wellness Project, because you have 3 calls to action right here, but you want it to make it easy. Like you just won them over with a great story. Now just give them a chance to join your Facebook group where there are more women, making these kinds of changes and feeling fantastic. That's what I would do. I think this could be cool, a cool newsletter. I think it could be a cool Facebook group post. I think it could be a good short video, any of those things. But I'm going to give it a heart. That's super fun. I don't really have much to say about how you wrote it. I mean, it just really goes through the story in a great way. I really like it. That's what I got. Tell me if you have anything else, Cheryl. Okay? All right. Andi, sales, question mark. Okay. So you're good? Thanks, Cheryl. Andy says sales, question mark. If I say no pitch, no sale for a free assessment, is it okay or sneaky gross to ask them at the end of the assessment? No pressure, simple yes or no if they want to hear about how I work with private clients. How does that feel? I wouldn't. I think it feels bait and switchy. Maybe not to everyone. I mean, if you say no pitch and like at the end of the assessment they love it so much that they're like, oh my gosh, Andy, how do you work with your clients? Then I think it's totally fine. But you're going to have to be okay with not bringing up your services unless they do first. That's my rule for myself. If I don't say no pitch, then I'll totally. But I would tell them that from the beginning, where I'd get on an assessment call and say, hey, Andy, I'm really excited to speak with you. I'm going to help you X, Y, Z. How does that sound? Good? Awesome. And if it's okay with you, if we love talking about this, I'm happy to share how I work with my clients. Is that okay with you? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Or, well, I already have a coach, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay. But if you say no pitch, I think I would just be like, no pitch. Cool. I rarely say no pitch on like when I make offers like that. Lately, I've been employing this new thing where I'm like, I'm sharing great content, absolutely no pitch. And people are like, okay, thanks. And I've been liking that because it just is no pitch. Now I might be sharing like, oh, UDU's coming up again, like that kind of thing. I might be seeding my program, but seeding is very different than selling. Cool? All right, my dears. I'm going to go through more of these questions. Actually, let me do this one. I don't know if Jane's on the line right now, but this might be good for people to see a landing page. Hi, Mel. Been working on a new opt-in that combines both love and style coaching. I target single women looking for love, but use style as a tool to get the results. You mentioned to me in our discovery call that since I'm completely new that producing content would be advisable to help build trust. Yes. Thus, my new opt-in is a 3-part video series called Style Up Your Dating Life. There are 3 workbooks as follows. Uncover Your Love Philosophy, The Hottest Spot Online to Meet Relationship-Ready Men, Dress for Dating Success. Woo! They would get workbook number 1 right away, workbooks number 2 and 3 over the next 2 days, followed by 2 emails about discovery calls a couple days later. Workbook 1 right away, workbooks 2 and 3 over the next couple of days, I'm assuming with the videos. 3-part series. Oh, so it's not a video, it's just a workbook. Okay. What I would, right away, I suggest adding video in. I really, really do. By the way, here's a draft landing page I converted in ConvertKit. Do you think the client may be overwhelmed getting a workbook each day? What about the words on the landing page? Do you have any additional feedback? I don't know if they're going to be overwhelmed by their workbook. If I was really excited about finding love, I would totally work through the workbooks, you know? I just think I'd love it if there was a video to go with them. That's my biggest suggestion right here. Now, here's this. Style Up Your Dating Life, a 3-part series for the single woman who is ready to create the relationship she truly desires and deserves. Awesome. I just feel like for this word series, 3-part series for the single woman, I might say, you know, I don't know if I would say teaching or training. A 3-part series for the woman. I don't know if I would say like a guide or something like that. Just something like, unless you feel like your people know what the word series means. That's my first thing. Are you ready for epic love? Oh, love the word epic. If you're ready to ditch the love drought and lock down the relationship you've always wanted, this one's for you. After all, life's not set in stone. It's shaped by its most powerful creator, you. This powerful series includes 3 free workbooks: Uncover Your Love Philosophy, The Hottest Spot Online, Dating for Success. What I would love here is a so that you can uncover your love philosophy, so you can start attracting the right people, the right partner for you. The hottest spot online to meet relationship-ready men, so you stop looking in all the wrong places. Dress for dating success, so you feel like $1,000,000 and have fun on every date, no matter what. Like something like that. Otherwise, I think this is pretty darn cool. I'm wondering if it's possible for you to put a little bio of yourself underneath this picture and have some testimonials. Those are my thoughts. All right, my dear? Good work. Really cool. Sounds like a plan, Stan. All right, my dears. Those are all the questions I see for now, right on time. It's so awesome to speak with you. I'm really excited that Jada's coming. Don't forget. So I'm going to send out reminders. Please come into the Facebook group, and at the top, pinned as a post is this question. Please submit any questions for Jada about organically building your list and following, so that when you're a fly on the wall, you have a chance of getting your question answered. All right? all of the love in the world. Go kick some buns. I'm going to be coming into the group tomorrow morning and answering any questions we didn't get to. And until then, let's do it. Okay? Bye.